Richmond, Virginia, where today Virginia Union plays host to their chief rival, Virginia State. They've made the trip just 30 minutes down the road, and this game isn't just about bragging rights. The winner will play for a CIAA championship next week. A quick look at the Coca-Cola CIAA Conference standings in the South. Winston-Salem State, Fayetteville State. Whoever wins, they'll play for a championship next week. And, of course, in the North, you know the deal there. Of course, it's Virginia State and Virginia Union. The winner takes all. Hi again, everybody. Along with Stan Luter, I'm Scott Przwanski. Thanks so much for being with us here today. Beautiful day for football here in Richmond. Just a gorgeous afternoon. And Stan, doesn't get much better than this, really. Two rivals, and they'll decide a championship here today.
Well, if you can't get excited about this one, I really question what you can get excited about. Yeah, they are longtime rivals, 105 meetings, 30 minutes apart, but you're playing for a championship, and that's very, very special for both of these clubs. New coaches, they come in, they're doing good things. Let's get this one started.
Yeah, both these teams are here because they've got special players. How about our nationwide ones to watch to start things off?
One of the outstanding receivers in the CIAA is Javon Smallwood. Comes in with 47 receptions, 7 touchdowns. That's a very good athlete. Can go over the middle, also can take it long. Then you've got Andre Ross. He makes plays. Twice he's had sacks. He had a 10-tackle game early in the year against St. Augustine's. He's a guy that's going to be around the football all afternoon long. For Virginia Union, Dane James making his second start, the coach's son. So you know he's a smart guy, understands the game. How will he be able to handle the deep passes, the adversity? We'll find out a lot about him. And finally, Charles Davis, another one of these guys that leads his team on the field and off the field. Very aggressive, very smart. Davis, James, Rawls, Smallwood, all these guys you better keep your eyes on.
Yeah, and both these teams have strengths on both sides of the football, no doubt about it. How about our Toyota keys to the games?
Well, it's really simple at Virginia State. They want to run the football, establish the run game. Over 184 yards they average per ball game. And how about this, 34 minutes in time of possession. If they're doing those things well, they've got a great chance to win. They've got to bend on defense but not break. They've only allowed 2 touchdowns in the last 10 quarters. For Virginia Union, it's about making plays, having playmakers. Gross, York, we'll call their names all afternoon. They're big-time players. And finally, they've got to have discipline, Scott. They're averaging about 130 yards in penalties. They can't have a lot of penalties in this ball game.
A lot of emotion here this afternoon. The opening kick is coming up next.
Started my Camry, went to the auction, won a storage locker, found an old guitar. Tracked down the previous owner. Reunited them. Hit the jack.
CIAA football is brought to you by Toyota, Let's Go Places, by Food Lion, by Coca-Cola, by Nationwide, Nationwide is on your side, and by McDonald's, I'm loving it. And welcome back to Richmond, Virginia, Hovey Field as we get set here for this afternoon's football game. And we're expecting a good one here between these two rivals. Temperature 53 degrees, partly cloudy outside, not a whole lot of breeze. It is a beautiful, beautiful day here to decide a Northern Division championship. Virginia State won the coin toss. They have elected to defer to the second half. So the Trojans will be kicking it off to start this one here in Richmond. Of course, Virginia Union here at home, 7-2 overall, 5-1 in conference play. Virginia State, 7-2 overall, and a perfect 6-0 in league action. And we'll get this one underway. Short kick fielded by the up back and met rudely at about the 25-yard line, and that is where Union will start things off. Big time hit by Andrew Faison on special teams. So Dane James is your starting quarterback here for the Panthers. Of course, took over back on October 25th when first and second string quarterbacks went down, and James making the start again here today. We told you in the open, the coach's son, he's played for his coach throughout high school, so it's no different, just a different level of football right now, and he's ready to lead his group, hopefully for the Panther faithful, on to a conference championship. Get a look at the offensive line for Virginia Union. Kevin Beard, the senior, 365 pounds. And, of course, the backfield, Robinson, one of the better ones in the conference. But Union will start off Looking for the pass early, and James is going to keep it nothing there in a short pickup.
Scott, initially on the first play, you see what I expect out of the Virginia State Trojans, Latrell Scott, to put pressure on Dane James. Only 2 starts. He's only thrown, 25 completions. Interesting enough, 7 interceptions.
Claiborne, Precise, and Jones, a couple good ones up front, and Brandon Robinson, the leading tackler, with 68 on the season. And, of course, back in the backfield, Darian Thomas is a good one for sure for the Trojans. So Dylan Murrieta moving a little too quickly there. Both these teams amped up, no doubt about it, this afternoon.
But not amp is one thing, but you've got to play under control. 2 plays earlier, 2 times slapped the ball in Virginia Union, a penalty, and then the quarterback pressure. Expect to see this out of Virginia State. And remember what we told you. Virginia Union leads the CIAA in penalty yards.
Quick hitter over the middle and a nice grab. We'll bring it out across the 40-yard line and a first down for the Panthers.
If you put pressure on Dane James and he has time to throw the football, a very strong arm. Watching him practice yesterday, very sharp. No balls touch the ground. Just a quick little slant. Sees pressure coming up the middle. Good catch on the inside there. And again, the wide receivers of Virginia Union, York, Gross, and then Jamal Ryder. Excellent catchers after the football.
Ball placed on the 42 after that first down grab. They'll give it up the middle. Not a whole lot there as the Trojan defense bulked up there.
Defensively, the strength of this Virginia Union team, or offensively, I should say, is the line of scrimmage. They do a real job. Hayes, Beard, Stalls. Defensively, Virginia State, we'll call these names a lot. Brandon Lynch, Brandon Robinson, Andre Rawls, one of the guys we had our eyes on, and Andrew Faison.
Empty backfield this time for James. Man in motion. He'll fake it. Throws it here near side, complete to Jussie York. And York's got another first down here for the Panthers.
Jussie York, one of the leading receivers in the CIAA, came in today with 38 catches. You've got York on one side, number 1, Dante Gross on the other, number 10. Excellent wide receivers, can do a great job in open field. And this time, not a lot of pressure for James. A little quick out. York does a nice job after catch.
Union into Virginia State territory, and James doesn't like to look at the line of scrimmage. And the junior quarterback is going to call an early timeout, come here towards the sideline. And a 30-second timeout here for Virginia Union. You hate to have call a timeout, especially the way Virginia Union has been moving the football here early, maybe having the Trojans back on their heels just a little bit.
Getting off to a good start is something very important for these Union Panthers. They've scored 56 points alone in the first quarter. Conversely, Virginia State's given up 44 in the first. So if you're Virginia Union, this quick attacking offense, 3-4 wide receivers, open backfield, you want to try to strike as fast as you possibly can, put pressure on Virginia State.
And you get a good look here inside the huddle at Mark James, the first-year head coach at Virginia Union. Of course, he was the defensive line coach in 2013. 7 wins this year, the most by any first-year head coach at Virginia Union. Of course, well known in the state of Florida, South Florida, as a high school football coach. And bringing the talents here to Union and getting the job done.
And you can just look at the roster of this Virginia Union team and see guys that are transferred in from Bethune-Cookman, Florida A&M, respectively.
Hand it to Gross on the sweep towards the left side. Muscles his way for a hard-earned pickup of a couple. Will bring up second down.
One thing you like about Virginia Union, they stretch the field side to side, end to end, and Virginia State's going to have to be able to cover it. And you talk to both coaches, especially Latrell Scott. He talked about the strength of his team being those linebackers. I think they're going to be tested this afternoon.
Dead ball, personal foul, offense, number 65, 15-yard penalty, second down.
Well, they got the junior from Jonesboro, Georgia, Joshua Stalls, on the flag, and that'll move Union back into their own territory. Call it second and about 22.
I had to do a double take.
We're looking at the stats in the Elizabeth City game last week. Virginia Union called for 23 penalties.
Handed off inside. Robinson breaks free, looking for a block across the 50. And back near the original line of scrimmage. And there's Jerome Robinson, the sophomore.
They'll use Cassius McDowell, Eric Shaw. Eric Shaw led the team in rushing last season. Jerome Robinson, and look to see a few times a day the transfer from Florida A&M, Linworth Lennon, number 3. Get active. They'll try to use him a variety of ways. Last week, Lennon carried the ball 17 times. He'd only carried it 3 others throughout the season. So, again, they're going to throw out everything in the kitchen sink today that the Panthers of Virginia Union.
3rd and long for James. He's got time, eyes a man, and incomplete. Tried to find Jussie York. Tyrell Smith in on the coverage. And after a promising start to the drive, penalties back up Union, and they will be forced to punt here.
Virginia State did a nice job in disguising coverage at the last minute. York and James is not quite on the same page that time. But again, getting off the field, very important for this defensive side of the ball for those Trojans.
So Deion Futch will be standing back at about his own 10-yard line. Punt is away, end over end. And got a chance and a nice play to bat it back into the field of play. And great coverage there by Virginia Union.
Krebsich is one of the best kickers in the CIAA. In fact, I haven't seen many guys that the ball just explodes off his leg. You'll see him punt and also do the place kicking duties. A very, very strong leg. And if this game gets close, you get down the stretch, special teams are always going to be very important, especially in these type of games. Look for Krebsich to be maybe one of the common denominators, a guy that puts them over the top.
Yeah, he's got numerous kicks over 50 or more yards this year. You look at the quarterback here for the Trojans, Terrian Ayers, a sophomore. Of course, he's thrown for almost 1,800 yards on the year. He's a dual threat, 11 touchdowns through the air and 6 on the ground. Virginia State will start deep in their own territory, hand it up off the middle, and a short gain to bring up 2nd and long.
Very important for Virginia State behind this strong offensive line to be able to get off Haley Rios, Ransom, Hudson Reeves. All these guys are strong. They average about 285, 290 pounds, Scott.
Donald's starting lineups, you look at it, and of course, talk a little bit about Johnson and Smallwood, definitely a good one out in the flat for Ayers. Keep an eye on those two hooking up this afternoon. Handed off again over the right side as Bellamy will be short of the first down. We'll bring up 3rd down. And look at the defensive line. Huggins and Lamb on the ends there. The linebacking core, Joseph Blanks, the junior, with 44 tackles on the year. And we talked a lot about Charles Davis, number 26, 77 tackles and 6 interceptions for Union this year. Key opportunity now here for this Union defense. They've got them backed up, 3rd down and 4.
Virginia State 40%, 47 to 118 on 3rd down.
Ayers all kinds of time. Now the pocket collapses on him. He'll try to do it with his feet and brought down just shy, it looked like, of the 15.
It depends on the spot, but I think he's got the first down by about a length of the football.
So Ayers did squeak over in a first down here for the Trojans.
Terrain Ayers had an outstanding game last week against Chowan, not only throwing the football but running. Ran for over 100 yards, had a long touchdown. Again, you're talking about a guy that is a very multi-threat player. Ayers is an extra back in the backfield.
Bellamy and Hughes flank either side of Ayers. 1st and 10 from the 15.
Hughes, number 20, the ball carrier.
Hughes, the freshman, on the handoff. Short game will bring up 2nd down.
Scott, if Virginia State's able to establish yards on 1st down, 3, 4, maybe 5 yards, this makes that ground game even more effective because they're going to like to pound the football. If they're able to pound the football, it could be a long afternoon for Virginia Union. State's already had 4 games this year where they've rushed for over 200 yards. So, again, it's real simple. Go to the hot back, offensive line, give me some good blocks and throw occasionally. And when you throw, you've got outstanding receivers in Smallwood, Futch, and also Stubblefield.
Ayers will hand it off, and met rudely coming across the line of scrimmage. Miguel Gray, the junior, read that one perfectly.
Well, they're really excited about Miguel Gray. Did a nice job there making the stop inside. Again, one of the ways to stop a team from running, there's a double team inside, try to come. Gray comes from the outside, makes a solid hit, and now puts up a third down situation for Virginia State. But Miguel Gray, along with a couple other guys on the offensive line, have got to find a way to dominate the line of scrimmage today. Gray, Huggins, El Said, Lamb, to name a few.
3rd and 7, Bellamy standing to the right of Ayers. Ayers flushed out of the pocket, eyes down the field, and incomplete. Pass went in between 2 Trojan receivers in Stubblefield and Smallwood.
Faced a third down situation. You see the release outside that time by Bellamy couldn't get him, and then under pressure, Ayers throws in a little bit of coverage there and wasn't sure if you're throwing that time to Stubblefield or to Smallwood. Did a good look there at Latrell Scott. Last year had an outstanding year, won 9 games. This year falling back up with 7. Just done a really super job at Virginia State in 2 seasons.
Hillcrest, the freshman, to punt it away. Short kick, and will go out of bounds, and Union is going to have terrific field position here on their second possession. Just underway here in Richmond, scoreless in the first.
I remember the moment.
Senior day here at Hovey Field in Richmond, Virginia, and great field position here on the second possession of the game for Virginia Union. They'll have it on the 43-yard line of Virginia State.
1st and 10, Panthers.
James has time and incomplete. Andrew Faison, the rover there defensively, may got a piece of that, and they'll bring up 2nd and 10.
Virginia State will be faced to play a lot of nickel and dime packages here. You take a good look at what James sees. Ball just bit deflected that time. Andrew Faison Jr., dad was the former football coach here at Virginia State. And it's got a really good football IQ. They marvel, and what would you expect? James, a quarterback's son, and then you got Faison as well. Understand the game totally. He's had a really solid senior season.
Big time shift to the left side of the line for James this time. They'll hand it off to the right side. Penalty on the play as Eric Shaw carried across the 40. So we'll see how we sort this one out. Was Eric Shaw on the carry, and again, Virginia Union.
Offside defense with 25. 5-yard penalty, replay, 2nd down.
Andre Rawls, the senior, jumping a little bit early. So we'll replay 2nd down here.
Panthers 2nd down 5 on the Trojan.
Calling 2nd and 5 now for the Panthers. James will hand it off to Shaw again. Dances, prances across the 35.
On the tackle for the Trojans, number 56, Ray Posey.
Ray Precise in on the stop. Sophomore from Petersburg, Virginia. Get a look at Virginia Union. 7 different players have attempted a pass this year. What does that tell you? If you're on the defense, you better be ready.
Yep. 7 different players have attempted it. 7 different ones have caught one. 9 different have run the ball. Variety to spice of life for the Panthers.
First down for Virginia Union, and nowhere to go for Shaw that time. Brandon Lynch, among others, in on the stop in the backfield.
Great job of putting pressure on Shaw this time, breaking through. You look at that, Brandon Lynch, one of those outside backers, along with Andrew Faison the second. And if the linebacker core of Virginia State has time, if their front line guys, Procise, Claiborne, Jones, can give these guys a chance to read and respond, some of the best tacklers in the CIAA, those 4 linebackers.
Loss of 4 on the play, 2nd and 14. James wants to go the air, drops it off to Shaw out of the backfield, crosses the 35, and met by Darian Thomas.
James had a tough afternoon last week in that win, 14-7 over Elizabeth City, threw 4 interceptions. This time looks downfield, goes to his check down receiver, Eric Shaw. Shaw, nice receiver. One of the things about Virginia Union, all of their backs are very good out of the backfield as well. They've got some solid hands. Robinson, Lennon we talked about, McDowell if we see him, and again Eric Shaw, the check down. But yet another 3rd down long situation for the Union Panthers.
Yeah, 3rd and 12 for Dane James.
See if they bring pressure again.
Quick hitter out into the flat. And Jamari Wright puts on the Jets, and a 1st down for Virginia Union.
Well, James does a good job here, just gets the ball out of his hands real quickly, then good blocking downfield, blocked there to the outside, and Jamal Wright, you needed 13, got you 15, 1st down VUU, but he read the blitz to the outside, is able to kick the ball there. Wright does the rest, comes in with 24 catches on the season.
1st and 10 from the 19-yard line of Virginia State.
Ball is spotted at the 20-yard line. 1st and 10, Virginia Union.
Union threatening here on their 2nd possession. James will hand it off. Shaw scoots out close to the 15. That'll bring up 2nd down.
And we were talking a moment ago about the offensive line of Virginia State. The Virginia Union offensive line, I'll tell you what, it's a good thing you can get them on the bus. 320 pounds they average. Taylor goes 300. Beard, 365, number 73, the left guard. Addison Hayes, 315. Steele, 320. Mason is the small guy. He goes 295. A very strong, powerful offensive line. Get a good look there at Joshua Stalls. 6'5", 320 pounds on a good day.
Gain of 3 and flags on the play before we could start this 2nd down.
Delay of game, offense. 5-yard penalty, remains 2nd down.
Well, delay of game when you're inside the red zone is a flat-out killer for the offense.
Well, you've got to make this base simple. Got a young quarterback, but as we said earlier, James, the coach's son, understands it. He's been in this system for a long time, played for his dad in high school, so he understands. But they've got to be able to give him the play and let him kind of read defenses. You can't pressure it. Sometimes you wonder if the guy didn't see the clock or you got the play in too late. Nevertheless, you're in the red zone. You've got to figure out a way to go forward.
And you got Lenworth Lennon, number 3 in the ball game, taking the direct snap right now. Hands it off on the reverse. Got a man coming around. It's Dante Gross. Gross across the 10 and brought down just shy of the 5-yard line. So Lennon comes in. Call it the Wildcat. Call it whatever you want. Takes the direct snap. Hands it off to Gross.
Excellent call by Virginia Union. You fake the dive, you come with reverse to the other side. Again, you want to get these guys, Gross, York, Wright, especially in open field. And any way they can get the ball in these guys' hands, they're going to do it.
1st and goal from the 7. Lennon hands it off this time. And a short pickup as Jerome Robinson was brought down.
And you got to feel like if you're Union, anytime you get inside about the 35-yard line, you've got a weapon. And we talked a moment ago on that punt about Cripsey, a very solid kicker, 6 out of 14. But a lot of those misses have been from long distance. But he set the school record not too long ago with a 55-yarder and he's also kicked a 50-yarder. So they're definitely in his range.
2nd and goal. Lennon remains in the ball game. Union threatening here with 4:08 to play. Hands it off around the right side and in for the score. Touchdown, Dante Gross.
Motion. And watch a block there to double team to the outside, and just never were able to seal the edge. And Dante Gross just kept driving and driving, was able to sneak in the corner of the end zone. A great drive after the short punt for Virginia Union.
Took advantage, as you mentioned there, Stan, took advantage of that great field position. And now Krepich in for the PAT, and it's blocked. Blocked, and a live football. Trojans pick it up, but they're brought down. But nonetheless, special teams coming up big time here for the Trojans.
See if we can see who got their hand in there. Couldn't really tell from that angle. Krepich had 2 kicks blocked this season. Just got to pick that ball up. Could have got 2 points the easy way.
A 6-yard carry into the end zone by quarterback James. Point out the attempt, no good. Virginia Union 6.
It looked, Scott, like that might have been Claude Thomas, number 15.
Yeah.
He got his hands on that ball. Or maybe that was 45. I could see the 5, couldn't see the 4. It could have been Brandon Robinson. We'll have to look at that maybe one more time. But nonetheless, one of those plays that maybe can shift the momentum, but a very impressive drive by Virginia Union.
So Union strikes first here and ahead 6-0. So look at Claude Thomas, 6'4". Got up high to block that one. So Krepich now will kick things off for the Panthers. Standing deep, Deion Futch, senior, along with Earl Hughes. Bounces off Hughes' leg, and a fair catch was whistled by the up man.
Yeah, Michael Harris rolls his hand up there for the fair catch, so immediately that ball is dead once they recover. So we'll find out what Virginia State can do when they come back in a few seconds.
Let's go. 50 Omaha, set hot. Right there, nice.
Losing feeling in my toes. Nothing beats that new car smell. Chicken parm, you taste so good.
Nationwide is on your side.
Covert ops, double agent, spy thriller. You don't know ARP.
Well, Virginia Union takes full advantage of the great field position to go down the field and strike first. 9 plays, 43 yards, and 4 minutes off the clock there for Virginia Union as Gross goes in for 6 yards out. And now Virginia State will take over, and again, their second possession, and not in the most beneficial of field positions here, just inside the 20. Ayers will take the snap. Comes around the right side for the short gain. Will bring up second down here for the Trojans.
Also number 56, Joel Huggins. Gain of 2 to the 19.
Called a gain of 2.
Second down, 8.
And 2nd and 8 now from about the 19-yard line. Ayers looks to pass this time. He's got a man and complete over the 25-yard line. Claude Thomas, sophomore from New Jersey, hauls it in.
Simple little inside route there. Again, you expect to see a lot of double coverage to the Smallwood side. So Claude Thomas and, again, Deion Futch, number 11, are going to have to step up and make some plays. Makes his third down very manageable now for Virginia State.
3rd and 1 here for the Trojans. Bellamy stands behind Ayers.
Twins to both sides.
Here's Ayers. He'll hand it off to Bellamy. He's going to have to churn and move hard to try to get forward for that first down. I'm not sure if he got it. On the sidelines, the Union players certainly don't think so.
He had to get to the 32-yard line, and I'm not quite sure either if he got it. Just a nice job of plugging the hole to the inside. Big number 96, Kamal El-Sayed, does a great job of kind of just holding up things. That's what you want your nose guard to do, and everybody else comes and plugs the middle.
Well, the defense holds, and a big-time stand there for the Panthers. And the Trojans are going to have to punt it away.
Big-time break there for Virginia Union. You can get Virginia State off the field in 3 and out, and your offense now seems to have some type of rhythm. That's a positive play for them.
Hillcrest, the freshman punter, stands at about his own 12-yard line. Gets it away, high spiral. Takes a good bounce and will go out of bounds at about the 40-yard line. And so that's where Virginia Union will take over when we come back. Panthers leading at 6-zip here early.
Holiday season is fastly approaching, and at City to City.
Back in Richmond, Virginia. Virginia Union out in front 6-0. Beautiful day here, and want to welcome all our viewers in from Aspire Network here, checking us out this afternoon, this historic location for football.
No question about it. Hovey Field.
There's Gross around the left side. Spins his way forward for about a gain of 4 or 5 yards.
Only stadium that's larger or older, I should say, is Harvard Stadium. And there's so much history here, history of Virginia Union. You look across the street at Barco Arena, and the Hovey Field's a historic monument. The largest stadium in the CIAA also, Hovey Field. 10,000 Panther fans, all dressed in, they call it maroon and gray, a steel.
Lennon coughs it up. It's a fumble, and Virginia State has recovered. Andrew Faison Jr. hops on the football, and our first turnover of the game.
We talked about Faison having a solid season. He's having a nice game, being on a couple of tackles right here. Helmet on football, gets a hand there, reaches out, and I think Faison causes the fumble. Faison recovers the fumble, making his daddy proud. Watch this play here. Reaches in with the right hand there, left hand, gets the ball, and then is able to get up, recover the football, and finally a break for the Trojans of Virginia State.
Stripped it out of Lennon's hands, hopped on it, and good field position now for this Trojan offense. Can they capitalize as Ayers trots back on the field? Facing the senior, coming up big time here this afternoon so far. Ayers, a quick hitter to the sidelines, short gain. That'll bring up second down for the Trojans.
One of the things that Virginia Union wanted to avoid, as we talked about those penalties and making mistakes, is they understand Virginia State, very talented team, but a very basic team in a lot of ways. They pound you, and they try to capitalize if you make a mistake. Let's see if the Trojans can make the Panthers pay for this.
Gain of 3, moves the ball down to the 39-yard line. Bellamy stands behind Ayers, who comes up under center. Fake the handoff. Ayers wants to throw. And his receiver checked up. As Smallwood nowhere to go there. And Joseph was there defensively for Virginia Union.
Rodashawn Joseph does a nice job of making contact early with the wide receiver. They were trying to run a double move that time and got caught up. And if they'd thrown the ball just a second sooner, they maybe could have had a case for pass interference. Latrell Scott definitely thought there was pass interference on the play.
3rd and 7 now for Virginia State. Virginia Union defense looking to bow up here in their own territory. Ayers got a man out of the backfield. That's Hughes, and he's brought down at the 40-yard line. Swarming defense by the Panthers, and it's 4th down now for the Trojans.
A nice open field tackle by Willie Bailey, coming from his safety spot, comes up and makes a big-time play as we end the quarter.
That's the end of the first here in Richmond. First place in the Northern Division at stake here today.
It's in the brief.
Food Lion.
So we get set to start the second quarter, 4th and 2. And the Trojans, it appears, unable to capitalize off of that turnover. And Hillcrest will stand just beyond his own 45 to punt this one away. And a big-time defensive stop. Bobbles the snap, just kind of boots it forward. Heads-up play by Hillcrest. It's picked up by a Virginia State player and takes it down to the 10-yard lines, but Hillcrest just kind of kicked that one forward, and now all the flags are coming down on the field. Let's look again.
Watch this play. Bobbles it and just kicks it forward. So the ball is now past the line of scrimmage. It's a live football, but the first player supposed to touch that then is going to be, if you touch this down, ball never hit the air. This will go back. They got to recognize first that the ball was kicked as opposed to batted.
Well, the freshman punter, Matthew Hillcrest, kind of lost that snap, and I think alertly anyway, just kicked it off the ground to try to move it forward.
Then that's a drop kick. They want to see where he advances football.
So the officials are going to confer here.
The line of scrimmage was the 40-yard line. Got the ball placed down on the 10. And the officials, kind of like me, and maybe even Latrell Scott, a little confused at the interpretation of the rule. I know what this should be. Let's see what they'll say here, because I think the ball should be back actually where the place of contact would have been, which might have been like the 44, 45. Well, let's just wait and see. Here we go.
It's an illegal kick.
Right.
Offense. It's also a loss of down. Be a 10-yard penalty. First down, Virginia Union.
I wanted to say illegal batting of the ball, but actually illegal kick. The ball's already on the ground, kicked it and rolled. Remember what we said, the line of scrimmage was the 41-yard line. So you take the loss of down, they lost the fourth down, picked up the ball. Great job by the officiating crew. As you see the bizarre plays, you know about pass interference and you can understand a hold, but when you see something that I don't think I've ever seen that in a game like that. I've seen drop kicks before, but never that. That wasn't that. So
never that.
Another big break for Virginia Union.
And again, great field position for the Panthers as they start again in Virginia State territory. Handed off over the left side, a short pickup.
Again, once again, you see Andre Rawls in on that tackle. And the thing about it, you got to ask yourself, if Virginia State, they look like the team maybe with the young quarterback or with the younger offense. They've not handled this game too well. Kicking game mistakes, gave up the touchdown on a play which maybe should have been contained. Offense has not been effective.
Yeah, Union definitely looks like the more composed team here early on.
And one of the things we talked about was they had to have discipline. Other than a couple of little nickel-dime penalties, they have had that discipline so far.
Cassius McDowell in the backfield with James. Play clock at 1, just does get it away, throws it out into the flat. Jamal Wright, nowhere to go. As the Trojan defense read that one.
Well, Virginia Union gives you so many different looks. We talk about Jussie York and Dante Gross, but those backs are extra wide receivers. Cassius McDowell, Linworth Linden, we've seen them out of the shotgun right there, number 13. They really spread you out, and I think it's beginning to take a toll on the defensive side of how aggressive Virginia State can be.
3rd and 7 for the Union offense.
1-1 in third down conversion so far for the Panthers.
James, a quick strike's got a man. Threaded the defenders and a first down for the Panthers. Jamal Wright, great concentration. and a first down for Virginia Union.
Jamal Wright's having an outstanding game. The junior from IC Norcom out of Portsmouth, Virginia. Ball thread the needle in between Rawls and Faison, and a great job of catching the ball. Concentration, getting the first down for Virginia Union.
Ball placed on the 30-yard line now for Virginia Union. James hollering at his offensive line. He's got McDowell to his right. Hands it off to McDowell. And Devin Claiborne, a sophomore on the left side, brings him down.
Virginia Union going into this afternoon, it scored, Scott, 30 touchdowns in 2 minutes or less. That first touchdown drive took about 4 or 5 minutes. This drive now just continuing to bang, bang. They're getting something on first down. They don't display, but what they're able to do is they're extending plays and using those wide receivers. Trips to the right, isolated down here in the bottom is York.
Second down. Here's James again to the air and short hop that one. It'll be incomplete and bring up 3rd and long. Tried to find Lenworth Lennon out on the right side, and a nice defense, Brandon Lynch among others.
Nice matchup there to this side of the field where you had number 1 Jesse York, the transfer from Old Dominion, matched up against one of the better defensive backs in the conference, Darian Thomas.
3rd and long for Virginia Union. They've got to get to the 20-yard line for the first down. Can the Trojan defense hold? James to the air. He's got a man and overshot him. Jesse York was breaking free, had got behind the defense, but James, too much muscle on that one.
Well, they like that matchup there. It showed the nickel package that time for Virginia State. Came with an extra defensive back and just maybe made young Mr. James get rid of this football a second before he wanted to. You see pressure from the inside there. He's got it, just overthrows him.
So 47 yards for Troy Krepich. And may have been partially blocked, which I think it was, and nonetheless is no good. And the Virginia State defense holds. Now it's the offensive's turn to try to get something going.
To be styling and profiling, then make your way to GQ Menswear, where you buy a.
So the Virginia State defense holds, and now the offense has an opportunity as Trojans trail it here 6-0 in the second quarter. Ayers in the gun. He's got Hughes in the backfield with him. Handed off to Hughes, and no gain on that play as the Virginia Union defense brings home the stop. Well, I want to bring in the Associate Director for Multicultural Outreach at AARP from the Virginia State office, Janaea Luck. Janaea, so glad you could be with us here today. Appreciate all AARP does for the CIAA. I want to ask you, what programs and resources help the AARP community navigate and adapt to the new life phases?
Well, we are very excited to be here and be a partner with the CIAA. We have a lot of great opportunities to connect with different organizations, community-based organizations, including sororities, fraternities, other organizations that help connect with those that are 50 and over. I specialize in working with minority communities, so I'm very excited to be here on the HBCU campus of Virginia Union University. I'm a HBCU alum myself, and I just know how wonderful it is to connect with those that are alumni that are able to give back to the community as well as help educate and empower those that need more information about financial literacy, health equity, connecting with those to plan for their retirement, and to, again, have a better quality of life as we all are going to age one day.
3rd and 4 as Ayers will keep it, and looks like maybe a hair shy of the first down. Janae, I want to ask you another question. How is AARP helping the community to realize their real possibilities? We talk about real possibilities a lot when we mention AARP.
Absolutely. We revamped our tagline last year just to help those 50 and over understand that as you retire, as you grow older, you can explore new possibilities in life. There may be career changes or opportunities to do something you've never done before, but AARP is that resource. We have a lot of online tools, community-based programs, and community conversations to help you explore what you are really interested in later on in life.
Short kick away by Virginia State, and again, it'll be great field position for Union. Speaking with Janaea Luck of AARP, one final question for you, Janaea. I know there's a lot of tools and services that are made available to the AAR community. Speak a little bit about what's available and what these resources are.
Absolutely. I specifically partner with a lot of community organizations to provide free community conversations. Again, partnerships with universities, with sororities, fraternities, other community-based nonprofits to deliver community conversations to help those that are living in the community understand that AARP is not just about insurance, it's about giving tools of information to help people plan for their retirement, have financial security, planning for a long and healthy life.
Janaea Luck of AARP, thanks so much for being with us here this afternoon. Enjoy the ball game, okay?
Wonderful, thank you.
Thank you. So another 3 and out for Virginia State. And Union with excellent field position as Dane James back on the field. James out in the flat, got a man, and hauled in by Jamal Wright.
Brandon Lynch, nice job on coverage. And in that drive a second ago out of Virginia State, one of the things that we talk a lot about, not able to get anything on first down. This first down pass for Virginia Union, great coverage at time by Lynch. But one of the reasons I think Virginia State's having trouble, they're trying to go in between the tackles. I think they're going to have to stretch this field a little bit to try to get this very aggressive Virginia Union defense on their heels.
Gain of 3 on that pass play. Call it 2nd and 7 now for Virginia Union. Field position has been a big key, and an interception. James is picked off. Andre Rawls, second INT of the season.
These linebackers are very active for Virginia State, and I don't think James ever sees him just trying to trace a quick out. The intended receiver right just gets in that area. Kind of like that interception we saw in the Patriots game last week where the linebacker kind of just fooled him a little bit. He just throws it in a great athletic play that time by Andre Rawls.
Well, once again, the defense is going to give an opportunity here to this offensive unit of the Trojans.
And if I'm Virginia State, I'm thinking deep right now. Look at that. They've got 5-6 guys in the box right now for Virginia Union. Nowhere really to run.
Hand it off to Hughes, and he's brought down in the backfield. Joseph Blanks read it, wrapped him up, and threw him down.
And the linebacking core for Virginia Union. Tired of hearing me talk about the linebackers for Virginia State. Rones, Blanks, Pershing, Neely. Watch Blanks come from the inside, reads his play, sniffs us out, and has a solid tackle.
Boy, this Virginia Union defense has been up to the task here in the first half.
The Virginia Union this season's held 6 teams, Scott, to 75 yards rushing or less. They're the #1 rush defense in the conference and one of the top 10 teams in the country. So, again, it's going to be hard to run against them, but Virginia State thought they'd have more success than they're having so far.
Loss of 5 on the play. Out of the backfield, Hughes has got it. Eludes the first defender, but can't elude the second one. And you know who it is. Blanks again.
Here's how you know if a team is definitely engaged in the afternoon. Count the number of maroon shirts around the ball carrier on this play. Quick little out this time. There's nowhere to go deep. And count the shirts. There's 1 coming. There's 2. There's 3. Solid tackle. But look at the guys that are around the ball carrier. Then they're like, push, get off, my God. But again, that aggression has bode well this afternoon for the Panthers.
3rd and long yet again here for this Virginia State offense. An offense which came in averaging 384 yards a game, 4th best in the CIAA.
By my count, 1 out of 5 in 3rd down conversions for Virginia State.
Ayers to throw. Under pressure. There's a hold in the backfield and intercepted, almost bobbled and knocked away at the last minute. Charles Davis almost hauled it in.
under pressure. Let's take a look at this. And you're going to clearly see holes on both sides. I think they're going to get Dakota Reeves right there, number 77 with the hole, and nearly picked off. We talked about Davis in the open, very aggressive, always around the football.
Number 77, penalty is declined, 4th down.
All the momentum has gone to Virginia Union today. They're made all the plays, and if I were Virginia State right now, I'd be very honest with you, I really think about maybe trying to go for this, simply for the fact they've had a lot of trouble on the special teams, a bobble snap, weak kicks. Very important that they get a nice kickoff this time. Hillquist averaging about 25 yards per punt. I think you bring the house too if you're Union.
Well, Hillquist is standing at his own 40. And a short kick by Hillquist.
You know how a guy goes to putt sometimes and he's not very confident, so he just gets the ball, just gets something, just hits it and hopes he's up. That's what he's hoping to punt. Look at that, 31 yards of total offense for Virginia State, one of the best teams offensively in the CIAA. And only the rush game. We told you, 4 games this season, they've rushed for over 200 yards. Union's done an outstanding job holding one of the best offenses in the CIAA. V-State averages 383 yards a ball game. And Latrell Scott's got to have reason for concern right now.
Well, his offense just, haven't been able to move the football, period.
No.
At all. And as you mentioned, it's uncharacteristically, too. This is an offense which is a dual threat on the ground and through the air, but it's been a whole lot of maroon jerseys wherever they've tried to move here so far in the first half.
And you look at the numbers, only twice this season has Virginia Union allowed a team to rush for over 100 yards.
Well, they're going to bring Lenworth Lennon back in the game for Virginia Union. He'll take the direct snap and wrestled out of bounds by Brandon Lynch. Nothing doing on the right side.
You think about Virginia State, it's got to be very concerning to them that they had a break with the interception by Rawls and not able to convert. And one of the reasons because of this outstanding defense. The Trojan defense strong too. Brandon Lynch in on that play.
Loss on the play, 2nd down, 11, loss of 1.
Loss of 1 on the play, 2nd and 11. James back in the game at the quarterback spot. This is James. Ball batted away. It's in the air. And incomplete. James just kind of wrapped up Brandon Lynch so he couldn't get to that football.
And I'm surprised. I think all the attention went to the football being deflected, but I'm a little shocked that they may not got a hold on this play. Watch the end of this play. Get your hands up. You can't make a play. Comes in and makes a deflection, but what you don't see there is, watch it, he's got a great piece of Brandon. And all eyes are on that football.
Lynch might have been able to get to that football too.
Wasn't sure if that was Claiborne that made a deflection or Brandon Lynch that also deflected and was held.
3rd and long for Union. Got a man over the middle and incomplete. Devontae Piggott in on the coverage. Jamal Wright, the intended receiver. And so Virginia State's defense gets a big hold, enforcing the 3 and out for Union.
If this is going to be a maintenance game for Dane James, then you as a Virginia State defensive player is going to have to come up with some solid players. What I say about maintenance, you're not trying to make mistakes. That was an easy 3rd down call to places that don't catch the football.
Krepich into punt, it's blocked. Special teams comes up big for Virginia State. An excellent field position on the way for the Trojans. They needed something special to happen, and they got it there.
We just had a feeling in a game like this that special teams are always important, but even more so today. 5 guys come in, easily gets the block right there, and that's going to pick this ball up, scoop and score. Nevertheless, Virginia State in prime field position.
By far the best field position of the game for Virginia State. Sometimes all you need is a break to ignite your team, especially your offensive unit here. Ball on the 17-yard line for Terry and Ayers.
Trips formation, inside receiver Futch. Where's Smallwood? He's in the middle in the slot.
Ayers will hand it off to Bellamy. Up the middle. Short gain on the play will bring up second down.
This Virginia State team, Scott, averages about 200 yards and has 11 touchdowns on the season in the air. A little surprised that they've not elected to try to throw the football to loosen up this Virginia Union defense.
Ayers has thrown for almost 1,800 yards on the season so far, averages close to 200 a game. See if they turn him loose here.
I've got to think, if I'm Virginia State, that this is 4-down territory. We cannot settle for a field goal from a Trojan.
Ball on the 14, 2nd and 7. Here's Ayers. Flushed out of the pocket. He'll unload it and nearly intercepted. Joseph was there covering.
Well, on that seam route, the initial receiver right there, you see he's easily open and could not find number 40, Andrew Clark, and then Fason's got to improvise. Ball nearly picked off. A great job defensively for Virginia Union. Rodeshaun Joseph gets in the way of Marquis Brooks. And this Virginia Union defense refuses to be scored on. They are one of the best defenses, as we said, as far as defending against the run, not only in the CIAA, but in the country. They've only given up 43 points in the second quarter all season.
Another key opportunity here for the Virginia Union defense, and we're going to get a timeout. So Latrell Scott is going to get a timeout over at the Virginia State sidelines. The head coach wants to talk things over here on 3rd and 7.
Yeah, with your inability to convert on 3rd down, and I think a lot of that results on what you're not able to get on 1st down. Virginia State's not been able to do anything on 1st down, so therefore their 3rd downs have been long. Question.
All right, our nationwide trivia. This Virginia Union alum was the first African-American governor in the United States. Our nationwide trivia, nationwide, is on your side.
So much history here. We were talking about Hovey Field and Barco Arena across the street. Virginia Union, one of the original members of the CIAA, 10 CIAA football championships. Would you see the seam right there? Clark was open. You've got to run, try to find somebody. And off the back foot, trying to make a play. But the Virginia Union defense has made it very difficult for Ayers to do anything offensively.
All right, 3rd and 7. Here's Ayers. Flushed down the pocket again. Defenders around him, and he goes down. Gray in the backfield, and another big-time play by the Panther defense.
Miguel Gray, we called his name earlier today, said he's going to have a big ball game. Watch the pressure again out of this 3-man front. Relentless. Keep your eye on Gray, 58, gets blocked there, won't give up on the play, chases Ayers down, nowhere to go between Gray on one side and 42, Robert Jackson on the other, nothing to do but go down.
Big-time loss, backs him out, 4th and 20 now.
Virginia Union, the second best team in the CIAA with sacks. That's their 26th sack of the season.
Have to get down to the 7-yard line.
And all receivers have got to know that too, Scott.
And Virginia Union is now going to call a timeout. Mark James wants to talk it over.
One thing you could not do if you're Ayers and Virginia State's take that sack, really takes you out of field goal range. Their kicker, who's had a hard day as far as punting, his long was only 26 yards. So again, the one thing you can't do is the one thing they did do. They took the sack. Great pressure by Virginia Union.
Well, we gave you our trivia question a few moments ago. We gave you some time to think about it. Our answer, Mr. Wadler. Back in 1951.
Douglas Wilder. And if you go straight down campus, I mean, you can almost see it from the press boxes, the Wilder research center and the library. I was past it. I didn't, library. I should have gone in there.
Did you know how to spell it?
Yeah, I did. I knew where it was, but I just didn't get a chance to go by there yesterday when I was on this lovely campus at Virginia Union, and I heard a fan today. I'll tell you in a second.
4th down. Here's Ayers looking to the corner, and incomplete. Joseph again there covering.
Two-man route to the outside. Joseph trying to put pressure there on Claude Thomas, and just really, Virginia State's been out of rhythm all afternoon. But I heard a fan today say, "Wow, coming up here, said this is Virginia Union football." You know, the big crowd, the rival football game, the stands are packed here at Hovey Field, and certainly so far it's been a Panther afternoon.
Well, I'll tell you, their defense has been up to the task as they hold again. And the Virginia State offense is searching for answers here. 6-0. Union leads here at home. Back here in Richmond, Virginia, we've talked a lot about the Virginia Union defense and, pitching a shutout for good reason. And I'll tell you, outside of that initial 2 drives by the Virginia Union offense, this Virginia State defense has been great. Little trickery as they go to the air, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Lynch, down the sidelines. Touchdown, Trojans.
We knew that Virginia Union would bring out all stops this time. Lennon just underthrows this football. A great job by Brandon Lynch to come back. He throws into triple coverage. And then watch this acceleration right there after the interception. You need a play. Your defense gives you that play.
Well, the PAT was no good by Hillcrest. So we'll stay tied here at 6 apiece.
When we talked to both coaches this week, they said, the team that makes the fewest mistakes, the team that can capitalize on those mistakes has a great chance of winning. Virginia State's had a couple of opportunities with the block kick, a short field one time, not do it. Here's the point after touchdown. Neither kicker having a good day. He just shanks that. So we're tied at 6-6. But again, you've got to be able to make plays. And Virginia State finally able to capitalize with the interception that time by Brandon Lynch.
Well, I'll tell you, the defense says, all right, offense, you need a little jump start. We'll put some points on the board for you.
Yeah, but here I would be concerned, especially if I'm Virginia State, that our offense hasn't given us anything. Virginia Union has a very arsenal of explosive weapons, and our kick game is not good. And let's put it to you like it is right now. Neither team's kicking very well, but Union's a little better than State, and Union's not good right now, but they have the potential to be better. So here we go, just like we started.
Hillcrest to kick it away, and this time he'll drive Gross over into the end zone, and Gross is going to bring it out across the 10 to the 15. Ball's loose. Picked up by Virginia State. Dontrell Jones picked it up and almost scored.
Wow. Scott, talk about a change of fortune. Just a minute ago, we were bemoaning the fact that Virginia State couldn't get anything going. Offense still didn't make that play, but special teams. I question whether Gross should take this out. It's a nice deep kick. And he decides he wants to make a play out. It can't fault him for wanting to make a play, but you got to protect the football. And it comes out right there. And very quickly, very efficiently, Virginia State gets on the ball. Dontrell Jones recovers, and here we go. Watch this again. You get the wedge set up. Can we see exactly who knocks this football out? I think that was Tamara's Day.
Yeah, I think it was the sophomore day. Virginia State quickly to the line of scrimmage. They'll go to the left side. That'll bring up second down and short.
But you've got to score if you're Virginia State. And if you're Virginia Union, you wonder, what in the world just happened to us?
Boy, all the momentum had been with Union practically this entire first half. A couple of turnovers, bang, bang. And now Virginia State with a chance to take the lead. Johnson in the backfield with Ayers. Give it to Johnson, left side. And nothing doing.
Remember what I told you, they're only giving up about 80 yards a ball game on the ground. This defense is not going to yield anything today. You're going to, anything you get Virginia State, you're going to have to earn it. And one of the reasons that guy right there, pick number 2, Joseph Blank's been all over the field all afternoon.
3rd and goal from the 2-yard line now for the Trojans. And Virginia State is going to talk things over here on the sideline. So another timeout here as the Trojans want to make sure they've got the right play for the right situation. See if they can capitalize.
You know, you look at what Latrell Scott, you can see him there in the middle of his Trojans, and Mark James, very similar. Both of them were hired within a week and a year of each other. James was hired on the 21st of January 2014. Latrell Scott, January 14th, 2013. And in Mark James' first year, he's playing for a CIAA championship appearance. In Latrell Scott's first year, he played for a CIAA championship appearance. So bringing in new coaches, reaping quick rewards.
Bellamy in the backfield with Ayers.
Smallwood isolated on the right side. Trying to go to the outside some way.
Ayers looking downfield, got a man. Touchdown, Trojans. Willie Stubblefield hauls it in, and Virginia State's got their first lead of the game.
They like to run Stubblefield to the boundary side. Ran a nice little pick play. Got Stubblefield underneath. We'll see it in a second. But again, you know, even that 2-yard touchdown pass, they had to work very hard for.
So Virginia State capitalizes off the turnover. And they're going to go for 2 here.
Going for 2, the Trojans going for a 2-point conversion.
Here's Ayers, looks to his right. Ball fakes, comes back to the other side. Ayers in trouble and brought down.
Guess who? Guess who?
Blanks brings him down. 2-point conversion is no good, but Virginia State has the lead.
I'm Officer Ryan Kerrigan, Bon Secours Men's Health Unit.
Scott, watch this from the inside. Virginia State needing 2 yards. I mean, Stubblefield underneath. They ran a little rub route, tried to get Smallwood and Futch up the field or up to the end zone and then send him underneath. Pass thrown low and away where only one person could catch it, and that would be Willie Stubblefield. His second touchdown reception of the season gives Virginia State the 12-6 lead.
2:58 to play left in the half. Driving kick. Gross will take it at his own 1. Lost it again, stripped out of his hands, but picked up by one of his teammates.
Jamel Turner. And let's take a look at 2 things. First of all, as you watch Gross, Turner on the spot making the play, but watch Gross, does he protect this football? Trying to make amends for the fumble a moment ago. Gross He's got the ball on the point. Let's see here. Then somebody just gets a hand in at the last second. You've got to protect the football better, especially in a game like that. And who else? Andre Rawls just kind of sneaks in, gets his hand there, but Turner's able to get the football and advance it a few yards. And a very big break for Virginia Union.
Boy, the freshman Gross is getting a big-time taste of this rivalry football game as he's coughed it up 2 times, but his teammate there to bail him out. Could have been disastrous for the Panthers. Hand it off to Jerome Robinson. Bring up 2nd down.
It's funny how momentum can swing in a football game. There's so many emotions in this game. Virginia Union, Virginia State for the 105th time. We understand what they're playing for. You play a little tight, but you get a break, and finally Virginia State able to capitalize. Now Virginia Union back on their heels. How will they play these final 2 minutes and 20 seconds?
Hand it off to Robinson again. He's got a little daylight. Sheds away a defender and is brought down at the 45 and bring up 3rd down and short. Clock continues to roll.
To the 46 for a gain of 5. 3rd down 2.
Called a gain of 5. 3rd and 2.
Plenty of time on the play clock.
James hands it off to Robinson, and he is brought down.
On the tackle, number 92, Darian Jones.
Darian Jones in on the stop.
Also on the tackle, Andrew Faison, number 10.
And Virginia State's going to get it ball back here. And another crack at it.
State's got 1 timeout. Maybe Latrell Scott saying, okay, let's just, we've got some momentum. Let's get in the house and try to build on it.
Krepich will get it away. Driving kick. Dion Futch has it at his 20 and brought down just shy of the 25-yard line. And he's down.
With 43 seconds remaining in the half, and it's been an explosive, explosive 3 or 4 minutes. Smallwood's been very quiet today, and I think part of that's because of some of the play calls. They've been a little conservative in some respects, and also the job that Virginia Union defensively has done on him. But this is one of those situations where number 80 becomes one of those explosive players.
Junior from Virginia Beach. He's been quiet here today. But has had a heck of a season, and as you've talked about, Stan, he is a special, special guy.
I think they're just going to run this clock out. Smallwood's had 4 games where he's caught 5 passes or more, so he is a guy that's a big play opportunity.
Well, Ayers is just going to kind of keep it and run this clock out. Well, we'll take a look at the stats during halftime, and I think we'll see Virginia Union dominating most of them offensively in terms of yardage. But boy, turnovers have been a killer for the Panthers, and have really that's what's enabled Virginia State to not only be in this ball game, but lead it here 12-6.
Well, think about what Mark James told me. We pass it on as one of the keys. We have to be disciplined, and they've been disciplined for maybe 28 minutes of the 30 minutes of this game, and for 1.5 minutes you had a turnover, another turnover, and eventually 2 touchdowns by Virginia State.
So Virginia State will let the clock wind down, and we're at the half here in Richmond. The Trojans taking advantage of turnovers by the Panthers, and Virginia State leads it here at the break 12-6. Halftime from Richmond on the way.
Halftime. Virginia State 12, Virginia Union 6, the 105th edition of the Panthers versus the Trojans, as we take a quick second and listen to the ambassadors of sound, the marching band of Virginia Union University.
here, sharing them fish baskets and Gatorade.
We'll take a pause from the ambassadors of sound of Virginia Union to hear the sounds of the commissioner of the CIAA, Commissioner Jackie McWilliams. And Commissioner, you couldn't have asked for a better afternoon to have not only this game going on, but a CIAA title showdown in the South with Fayetteville State and Winston-Salem. You asked for it, we gave it to you.
You know, Stan, this has been great in our favor. It couldn't have been a better weekend and a better setup and a better television game. You know, we've got 4 teams that we're waiting to see who's going to play in that championship next week. And so, as you're already seeing, there's been some good football thus far.
Championship weekend upon us. Not only the football game down in Durham, and we'll talk about that in a second, but also you've got other championships, one in Fayetteville, particularly with volleyball.
Yeah, you know, this is like the greatest time of year for me. I love championships. I mean, this is what we're about. We're about student athletes, providing opportunities, giving them optimal experiences. Our staff has done such a tremendous job in enhancing our championships. We just finished cross-country championships last week. Virginia Union's men's cross-country team won. They're being honored here at halftime. And next week we've got 8 teams for volleyball going to Fayetteville State starting on Friday and the championship game on Sunday. And so, you know, to be able to do what we do and to provide these opportunities and watch these young people really play the game and the sports that they love is definitely an honor and a treat.
The commissioner of the CIAA, Ms. Jackie McWilliams, and the commissioner, Fayetteville State, Winston-Salem State down in the South, Virginia Union, Virginia State in the North. Tell us about those 2 teams when they get to the championship. What will we see in Durham this weekend other than some great football?
You know, we got a great line of things happening starting on Thursday all the way to the championship. We're going to have our banquet on Thursday evening to honor all of our student athletes that have all conference awards. On Friday, our student athletes, both teams are going to do community service out in the community to talk to young kids. They'll both go to different schools. And then on Saturday, we're going to do a youth clinic in the morning with all of our head coaches are going to participate in the clinic. And then we have a game at 1:30. So the trick is who's going to get there. And we're ready to give out tickets today and to announce those teams and prepare them for next week. So, Stan, this is a great time of CIAA football.
Real quickly, I know tickets are available for the football championship. You'll be getting that situated with the respective teams. Everybody's excited about that. But the other question I always get, Commissioner, tickets for the CIAA. You return to Charlotte for 6 more years. Talk about CIAA basketball coming back to Charlotte.
We're so excited to be back in Charlotte for the next 6 years. Tickets are already on sale. Sales have been great. We're looking to see right after football that tickets will even increase even more. Everyone can go on CIAA.com to get your tickets. You can also go to your member institution. If you're a fan of Virginia State, you can go and get your tickets at their member institutions. You can go to the box office. You can get them online. The access is going to be fabulous. All the things that we're lining up for this year's tournament is going to be very different. It is a new day, and we're excited about it.
It certainly is, and Commissioner, you've done an outstanding job. It's always good to see you. I'll see you in Durham for the CIAA Football Championship.
Yeah, thank you, Stan, for all that you guys do for the game.
Commissioner Jackie McWilliams, stay with us for more at half. Virginia State 12, Virginia Union 6.
So why switch to Dish?
With Dish, you get more options, you get more value, you get more channels. With Dish, you get more.
Only Dish gives you so much more than any other cable or satellite TV service provider. And you can get more for less. And now, for a limited time, you can save up to $900 in just your first year. In fact, Dish customers spend an average of 21% less than DirecTV customers.
I love Dish because of one thing. I save money.
Back at Hovey Field here in Richmond, Virginia, we're at the half. Virginia State out in front of the home Panthers of Virginia Union. 12-6 is our score. Virginia Union got out to the lead of 6-0 in the first quarter, and then turnovers kind of spelled the difference for the Trojans as they were able to capitalize on what Virginia Union was doing, coughing up the football, and 12 straight points now has the Trojans out in front, 12-6. Here at the half, and we're happy now to welcome in Dr. Claude Perkins of Virginia Union University, the 12th president here at Union, and so happy to have you with us here, Dr. Perkins. And of course, you're University is celebrating 150 years. Talk a little bit about how you've seen this university advance and what's in store here for the celebration this year.
We are very delighted to have you here, and we are in the throes of celebrating our 150th anniversary, and there are just a number of activities that are going on here at the university. We have had so many persons who have graduated from our university. It's hard to just depict one particular moment in time or different individuals. We've produced over 22 college presidents. We've produced the first African-American governor elected in the country. We've produced the first African-American admiral, 5 of the past 7 mayors in the city of Richmond. So we are a university where leaders are made, and we started at very humble beginnings right after the Civil War. And in 1865, Virginia Union was founded. And since that time, we have been serving the Commonwealth of Virginia and the nation for nearly 150 years, and we're very proud of that.
Speaking with Dr. Claude Perkins, the president here at Virginia Union, as the Trojan Explosion, the band of Virginia State, plays here in the background. And Dr. Perkins, you were so instrumental in the transition of seeing the CIAA conference grow.
CIAA conference. And, of course, the CIAA Conference is the premier Division II conference in the United States. We're now in the makings of developing a greater fan base. We're doing things now in a new renewed contract with the city of Charlotte in the county area. That's going to really expand tremendous opportunities for person to have a good time and for us to show the talent of our students, athletes who are going to be participating down there doing the CIAA basketball tournament. But overall, we are a very strong conference, and we are trying our best to keep it that way.
Dr. Perkins, before I let you go, got to ask you one more question. How excited are you to see this football team have a chance here on their home field to advance on and be able to play for a championship next week?
Well, we're very excited. The fact that we have the best team and we have a sellout crowd here. We probably have the largest crowd of any CIAA football game during this season. So there's a lot of excitement, and of course, Virginia State being right down the street from us, it makes the excitement more thrilling.
No question about it. Dr. Perkins, we appreciate your time as always. Thanks so much for being with us.
Thank you very much.
Here at the half in Richmond. Back with more after this. Welcome back to our Toyota halftime report. Virginia State out in front of Virginia Union 12-6. And if it wasn't for all these turnovers, Virginia Union would be feeling pretty good about themselves. Virginia State has just capitalized, and that's been the difference in this game.
Well, defensively, Virginia Union's done an outstanding job, only allowing 28 yards total offense. And then when you get an opportunity, you got to make a play, a little dump down pass there. Nice job of catching the football by Aaron Shaw. Then on the little quick reverse there, you got to make a play. Dane James does make that play on the run a minute ago, and then you've got the inside handoff right here. Nice play for the touchdown by Dante Gross. And Gross gets hit a couple times, doesn't matter, it gets in. Everybody's feeling pretty good about themselves. The trickeration again, this time the throw just a little bit underthrown by Jesse York. You need a play. You've got to make big-time plays in a game like this. Virginia State gets that play by Brandon Lynch, 39-yard interception. Then on the ensuing kickoff, another mistake by Virginia Union. Dante Gross is stripped of the ball, comes up. Virginia State gets that recovery. Nice play by Dontrell Jones. A little short inside pass from 2 yards to Willie Stubblefield gives us a 12-6 halftime lead. Virginia State over Virginia Union.
And you look at our Toyota first half stats, and what's amazing to me is you look at offensive plays for Virginia State. They almost have as many plays as they do yards. They have 26 plays for just 28 total yards. How are they in the game? Just turnovers.
Well,
that's it.
That next turnover, yeah. 4 turnovers by Virginia Union. But if you're Union, you got to be like, all right, we've got 4 turnovers, but we've only given up 12 points. Could have been worse. Virginia State not capitalizing. If I'm Latrell Scott, I am very much concerned with my offense right now.
Well, their offense averages 384 yards a game. That's fourth best in the CIAA, when they are big-time struggling here in the first half. Virginia State, though, they still lead it 12-6.
Holiday season is fastly approaching, and at City to City Auto Sales, it's the buy now, pay later sale. No payments in November. No.
CIAA football is brought to you by Toyota, Let's Go Places, by Food Lion, by Coca-Cola, by Nationwide, Nationwide is on your side, by McDonald's, I'm loving it, and by AARP, Real Possibilities. Virginia State out in front of Virginia Union 12-6. So glad you're with us here for our CIAA football game of the week. Of course, next weekend we will be in Durham for the CIAA championship. The winner of this game, Virginia State, Virginia Union, advances from the north. And, of course, they'll take on the winner from the south. And that being decided today as well between Winston-Salem State and Fayetteville State. Of course, for Virginia State, this is a team which was picked preseason to be here. They won the North Division last year, going 7-0 in conference play. It was the first time in school history that they were ranked in the top 25 in a poll and had a fantastic year. And, you know, building on that, many have high expectations for them again this year. And here they are, a half of way from making a berth in the championship game next year. For Virginia Union, you know, this is a club which not many people expected a whole lot from this year. They're picked 10th in the conference overall, 5th in the division, but man, Mark James has done a fantastic job for them and getting 7 wins, and here they are at home with a chance to make it to the championship next week.
Virginia Union, you know, we were talking a minute ago about the coaches. How about this? Mark James, first year. Boulware, first year. Fayetteville State coach, first year. And second year for Scott. So you got young coaches that breeds excitement, and they look at the standings. Like you say, I actually remember at the football media day, Mark James looked and he says, the preseason pick, 5th in the North, 10th overall, wasn't having it. Mm-hmm. And they talk about the guys have gotten up at 4 or 5 in the morning, they work out, and they practice at 6 every morning, and the intensity of everything going on. And you have the great guy right here. One of the reasons that they've had such an outstanding turnaround is because of the guy we just saw we're going to talk to right now, athletic director, former football coach at Virginia Union, Hampton, and Florida A&M, and Nettie AD, Coach Joe Taylor. I'm always call you Coach Taylor. Okay?
Well, and that's okay because we just transitioned from coaching players to coaching coaches.
Coach Taylor, it's always an honor to talk with you, and it's always good to come to Virginia Union. And you're 1 year now, nearly a year as being the athletic director. A lot of change here. Cross country won their first championship. I talked to the bowling coach yesterday. They're excited about what they're doing, and obviously the change here in football. What's been your philosophy? What's your style to make VUU flourish again?
Well, the key is we've been trying to just impress upon these young people that if you want to be a champion on game day, you got to practice being a champion every day. And if that's the case, now we're not just developing in our competition, but we are developing as people. You know, we're going to class, we're going to practice, we're depending on each other. Because I always tell them, ability is God-given. Accountability is what man decides to do with it.
Coach Taylor, I talk to you. We talk often. And you have been a great motivator of young men and women, for that matter. Coming to Virginia Union University, where you got your start as a head coach, what are some of the goals that you have in mind for this university?
Well, as you said, I was really blessed for 40 years to be in this business and help be a change agent for so many who are now, you know, doctors and lawyers, and I've just been blessed. The key here is it really does not change. You know, we have a vision. But I always tell people, if you have a vision but no resource, you're just hallucinating. So the thing we have to do now, we're putting out some revenue streams and trying to get the resources up, because as you can see, this is a great crowd, but certainly we need to upgrade our facilities. And, you know, there are some people, we are getting excited. The community is coming back. And because of that, I really just want to see Virginia Union return to that great tradition that we all know it's been in the past, and I really see it.
Real quickly, you're our AARP legend of the game, and you've been a legend for a long time. Very, very quickly, talk about Mark James and his development as a coach.
Well, the real key is the big thing that caused us to go with Mark. First of all, by the end of this semester, he's going to have his terminal degree, a doctorate. You just don't see that in head coaches across the country at any level, which means if he's got the blueprint to brand himself, he has a blueprint for branding others. And with that being the case, we wanted our men to be well-rounded men, not just football players.
Director of Athletics at Virginia Union, longtime football coach, Mr. Joe Taylor, our AARP legend of the game. Coach Taylor, thanks for your time. Let's play some football.
Thanks, Luna. You're always a great guy. Thank you so much.
Appreciate that.
Okay.
Always a pleasure to hear his words, isn't it?
Coach Taylor's the best.
He is.
Ended up as the 4th winningest coach all time in HBCU football history. Won 6 HBCU national championships, won titles in the MEAC as well as the CIAA. You won't find a better man than Joe Taylor.
Well, he's just an inspiration. Really finds a way to connect not only with young people but with adults as well, whether they're coaches, administrators, whatever it may be. Wind blowing the football off the tee here for Troy Krepich. He's going to try one more time, see if they don't put a finger on it and hold it like we used to do in the backyard.
Well, I'll tell you what, if I'm Virginia State, I look at the numbers of 28 yards in total offense, I got to be concerned about that. I got to figure out a way to get some points on the board. And it'll be interesting to see right now what they decide to do on first down. They've had no success whatsoever on first down today.
Well, Virginia State will have it to start off the third. This is Earl Hughes. And he's wrestled down at the 25-yard line, and that's where Terrian Ayers will bring the offense out on the field.
Earl Hughes, the freshman from right around the corner in Chesterfield, had an outstanding year, has been a kick return guy for this football team. Again, Hughes and we've talked a little bit about Bellamy, being those offensive weapons. Let's see if they can get that going. How about this for first half stats? Bellamy has only got 7 yards total rushing. He's one of the leading rushers in the CIAA. Got to find a way to get him going.
Well, Ayers and company only 1 first down in the first half. Yet they lead at 12-6, capitalizing on those 4 turnovers by Union. Hand it off. And again, nice second effort, though, this time by the running back. But, boy, that defensive front by Union, anchored by Huggins and El Said and Lamb, they've done a great job.
Well, to show you how good that front line is done this afternoon, this is a team in Virginia State, like we said, has rushed over 200 yards 4 times this year. They're only running the football with a very, very paltry 23 yards. So they're not getting it done.
Second effort, though, makes it a pickup of 5, so 2nd and 5 for the Trojans.
But see, this is manageable for them.
Ayers, quick hitter and incomplete. Intended for Willie Stubblefield, and 3rd and 5 now for the Trojan offense.
And the first real big test for both teams as you take a look. Ayers just kind of lets this go, goes between the hands of Stubblefield and nearly picked off and taken the other way by Willie Bailey. Virginia State in the first half alone, 2 out of 8 in 3rd down conversions. I think for the momentum of this game to continue to build, they've got to try to find a way to convert on this. Virginia Union, one of the best teams on 3rd down defense.
3rd and 5 for the Trojan offense. Ayers with an empty backfield. He's going to keep it. Ayers, and looks like he got the first down, diving across the 35-yard line. One of the few times we've seen Ayers run the football.
Well, he's a very strong runner, as we said, rushed for over 100 yards last week. And watch this block at the point of attack. I think that's your all-conference, possibly center. Ransom, 79, had a nice block to the inside, helped get the way. And if you can make some blocks, these guys, these offensive linemen of Virginia State, Rios and Haley and Ransom and Bud Hudson and Dakota Reeves, number 77, a very talented front 5.
First down, handed off to Bellamy over the left side. He's got some room. collides with defenders across the 40-yard line, but there is a flag on the play.
And the way that flag came out, Claude Thomas immediately threw his hands up. Number 15, can see if he maybe got a hole, or it could have been a hole right there by Jamel Haley, 75.
Yeah, Darrell Lamb was complaining. Number 90.
Holding. Offense. Number 75. 10-yard penalty. Replay. First down.
Yeah, they got Haley on the hole, and that'll back him up.
Good look at Bellamy. Bellamy last year, you may remember, was a defensive player, was a linebacker for the team. Had 23 tackles on the season last year and flipped him back over, came in as a running back, went to linebacker, now back at a running back. And they call him a sure-handed guy. So, hey, he's just tough as nails, doesn't back down from anyone.
Offense backed up to the 29-yard line. Ayers wants to throw. Now he's going to keep it. And back close to the original line of scrimmage.
Well, nice job of coverage that time by Virginia Union. Nowhere to throw the football, so Ayers elects to take it under his knee and pick up about 7 or 8 yards. Pressure there, feels no one in the middle. Blanks among others on the tackle.
Gain of 10 on the play, second down 10.
Pick up of 10, so second and 10 now for Virginia State. Hand off to Bellamy. He's got some room this time and out close to the first down by far. Biggest gain of the day out of the backfield for any running back in Virginia State.
And give a lot of credit to Bud Hudson, number 60, the right guard, and Dakota Reeves, number 77, the right tackle, along with Ronnie Ransom, number 79, the center. Just cleared a big hole. And like you said, the first few times we've ever seen any run room for any of the running backs for Virginia State. And you almost get the feeling right now that Latrell Scott is challenged his offense and says, okay, guys, here's what we do. We run the ball. We're going to run it.
Give it back to Bellamy again. The pile pushes forward across midfield. They are riding number 28, Bellamy, on this drive.
And one of the fears of Mark James is if Virginia State would get a lead because they like to pound the football, that you could pound it, take away the opportunities to get the football yourself and eventually run this clock down.
Gain of 3, so the nose of the football right at midfield. Opening possession of the third for Virginia State. The Trojans moving the football by far with the most consistency we've seen all game. This is Ayers. Eludes the first defender and then goes down.
By number 53 for the Panthers, Pauline Miano.
Well, the pressure keeps coming for Virginia Union. Miano there on the stop that time. So 3rd and 6 now for Virginia State.
Yeah, you wonder, Mark Fanga, defensive coordinator for Virginia Union. You wonder what he's going to dial up, more pressure. We've seen Ayers in trouble. Try to run the football.
Here's Ayers. He's going to keep it himself this time, and he's got some room. Ayers down to the 30 and goes out of bounds at the 28-yard line. Terrian Ayers using his legs to pick up the first down.
Ayers had some experience playing a few games last year and nowhere to go. Again, he ran last week 9 times for 108 yards, had a 47-yard touchdown against Chowan. Recognizes everybody's pressed up. Defensive backs got their back to him. He elects to take off and get another first down. A very impressive drive so far for Virginia State.
Well, as you mentioned, you have to figure that's something the coaching staff talked with him about. He really didn't tuck it down any in the first half, and he's taken advantage of it here on this drive. Handed off to Bellamy, and Bellamy pushes forward. And right now on this drive anyway, Virginia State offensive line is taking control of the line of scrimmage.
Play carries to the 23. Gain of 5, second down. 5.
Pickup of 5 by Bellamy. Brings up 2nd and 5 now for this offensive union.
Funny thing about Virginia State, they make no apologies for what they like to do. They don't mind going between the tackles. They feel like they've got a very strong offensive line and very capable receivers at the outside. And they're showing you right now why they were the #1 rush team in the CIAA this season.
Bellamy one more time, runs it to the back of his offensive lineman and brought down at about the 20-yard line. That will bring up 3rd down.
Pull to the inside, get a little block there. Try to find a way to kind of bottle things up. 96, Camille Al-Saeed does a nice job in kind of holding the pile up and then getting some help from the rest of his maroon-clad Panther teammates. Al-Saeed, a grad student. But you look at Huggins and then Lamb a junior, sophomore from Lambs. So these guys are coming back also in that front line.
3rd and 3, another 3rd down opportunity. Handed off to Bellamy. Cuts back to the left side. And a host of maroon jerseys are there right at that 1st down marker.
I think they're going to be about a yard short here.
They're going to go for it on 4th down. Ayers tries to sneak it over. And he is close. Well, Virginia State came up to the line real quick after that 3rd down. Didn't get him the 1st down, and the sneak by Ayers by a hair. Virginia State thinks they have it, but Virginia Union still arguing their case.
All right, it's hard to see where this ball is. The ball's on the 19.5. You can see at the top of your screen the yard to go. And from the way the official is running in, I think they're short. Unless that last little surge right there may have gotten us something. They're going to ask for a measurement. I think they got it. This is kind of hedging. I think they got it, but I think they got it, but it looks short. How about that?
How about that? The Virginia Union defense comes up big, deep in their own territory, and they stop the 4th down attempt by Terrian Ayers.
So 51-49. You look for big plays. Well, hey, mark this one up for Virginia Union. Remember the time. At 8-18, a nice drive by Virginia State, unable to get the 1st down to continue or kick the field goal. Now, can Virginia Union capitalize on this?
Well, by far the best drive of the game by Virginia State, but it comes up with nothing. So 1st and 10 from the 19-yard line for Virginia Union. And Dane James, the coach's son, in at quarterback. He'll hand it off to Shaw. Shaw cuts back. And brought down, but there is a flag on the play.
Virginia Union only had 3 penalties in the 1st half. I think the flag is going to be away from the ball and influence. Couldn't quite see where the hole was.
65.
Yeah, Joshua Stalls.
10-yard penalty. Replay. 1st down.
So they get the big junior on the hold, and that will back up the Panther offense deeper into their own territory. And if you are Virginia State right now, you want to keep field position on your side and not allow Union to move out of their own territory. See the penalties on the day, pretty even.
Well, anything be better than that 22-23 that they had last week. Very physical game against Elizabeth City.
Again, it's Shaw this time over the other side and brought down close to the 15-yard line. Eric Shaw, junior running back out of Washington, D.C.
For Virginia Union.
2nd and 15 now.
Jamal Wright's been the leading receiver for this team. Very surprised you haven't heard more out of York or Dante Gross today.
James dancing around and wrapped up, but just gets the football away.
They may throw a flag on this for grounding.
Big Ray Precise was in on the play. 2 sacks on the year, 8 tackles for loss. He shows you why there, does the sophomore. He was in the backfield and almost got James down.
Ray Precise, and I'm talking to Latrell Scott this week, and he just raved about what Precise has done. So he's hard to block, talented, versatile, and how about this? An engineering major. He is the top student in the engineering classes. How about that? As a nose guard.
Special young man.
Yeah, he couldn't talk enough about it. He said, I started asking one question, he told me 3 more things to ask.
3rd and long for James. Got to take care of the football, and he goes down again.
Guess who?
Right on cue. Mr. Precise is there, and the Virginia State defense holds. And they should have excellent field position coming up.
Keep your eye on the nose, 56 Precise. Gets away from the defender there and then comes down and makes a huge tackle, his 3rd sack of the season. Not a lot you can do for Precise. Daniel Lennon tried to kind of block him out, but he said, no, I've got this all figured out.
So Troy Krepich in his own end zone, and that one was partially blocked. Virginia State got a hand on it, and excellent field position coming up for the Trojans. So Virginia State threatening here in the 3rd after the great defensive effort. Here at Hovey Field, Virginia Union on the ropes after that block punt. Virginia State hands it off to Bellamy over the left side, and that'll bring up 2nd down.
The way this game is going, if Virginia State can cash in right now, it appears to be an uphill climb for Virginia Union.
Injured Panther on the field, Rodashawn Joseph. He's had a solid game for Virginia Union. He'll trot off the field. Gain of 4, so 2nd and 6.
Joseph, one of many guys from Florida. Coach Mark James had that Florida ties, was a successful high school coach, and brought a lot of guys. Some guys transferred from Bethune and FAM, and a lot of high school players. Expect to see a lot of Florida kids coming up here the next few years.
One more time to Bellamy, up the gut. Touchdown, Trojans. 8 yards out for Kayvon Bellamy.
It almost appears that Virginia State said, okay, enough with the pretty stuff. Let's just go back to what we know. Pound, pound, and pound some more. Good job on the offensive line, creating the hole. Kick out block there by number 75. Does a good job there. Look at there, Dakota Reeves leading the way, 60 Bud Hudson, and then my man, Ronnie Ransom.
And Hillquist knocks through the PAT. So the Trojans, after the block punt, push it in the end zone, 18-6.
Holiday season is fastly approaching, and at City to City Auto Sales, it's the buy now, pay later sale. No payments in November, no payments in December, no payments until
19-6 here in the 3rd quarter after the 8-yard score by Bellamy. And a McDonald's fan of the game, take your pick. It has been a packed house here in Richmond.
They go back and tell their friends years and years later that they were at one of the longest rivals in college football. Virginia Union, Virginia State played at historic Hovey Field. They tell their friends that, and they were a fan of the game.
Here's Robinson, deep in his own territory. He's got nowhere to go. And right now, Brandon Lynch and company are leading the charge for Virginia State as they have seized all the momentum here in the second half.
Never has a drive been more important in a season than this drive right now for Virginia Union? Starting their number 3 quarterback due to injuries to the first 2 guys. Here we go. The coach's son, this is what fairy tales are made of. You've got to find a way to get some points on the board if you're the Panthers of Virginia Union.
Well, you remember in the first half all that great field position that Virginia Union had in the first quarter and the second quarter. They weren't able to capitalize. Now, boy, they pushed back. They're going to have to go a long way.
Trail Scott was telling me the other day, said he grew up going to this football game. His dad used to take him over at the City Stadium and watch college football all the time. And he's from this area. He and his lovely wife, Brandy's 11-month-old son, Chase, coming to the first football game today. So they're going to bring to the game here today.
Linworth Lennon in the Wildcat formation. Short pickup will bring up second down.
Latrell's a homegrown guy and had success at Hampton, played for Joe Taylor. He said he talked to Coach Taylor periodically. He said he knew Coach Taylor was going to be picking at him this week trying to get the win. But to come here and have a chance to not only win, but win in his hometown would be very special to him. Said, you know, his guys want to see his son. Said, well, we got to win. We'll get him to Durham.
2nd and 6, end around. Come out just past the 20-yard line.
And Scott, if you notice, after that first turnover for Virginia Union and Virginia State was able to capitalize, how much more aggressive they become. Dontrell Jones comes out of a heat-seeking missile there at the end of the play to make that tackle. It just looks like Virginia State now has kind of said, okay, we're awake now. We're ready to play.
Key third down here, 3rd and 2 from the 21.
2 of 5 in the first half for Virginia Union on third down conversions.
Lennon remains in the game, fakes the handoff, he'll keep it. He's got some speed. Lennon into the backfield, trying to get to the corner and brought down at the 40-yard line, but Linworth Lennon. Big pickup and a key first down conversion for the Panthers.
Linworth Lennon, one of those guys we were talking about, a transfer from Florida A&M his last season, comes down hard on his arm at the end of the play, but out of the Wildcat, and they said we might see some of this today. A big-time pickup by Lennon. You see he comes down hard on his shoulder and then on his wrist at the end of that play.
Well, now they're going to bring in Jamal Wright, wide receiver, into that Wildcat formation. High snap, but Wright's got it. He'll come to the near side, eludes a defender, and brought out of bounds shy of midfield.
Virginia Union trying to pick up the pace a little bit. Big-time plays first by Wright, then a moment ago by Lennon. We told you they've scored 30 or more touchdowns this season in 2 minutes or less. So you're putting it the pedal to the metal, so to speak, right now, playing with a sense of urgency.
Approaching 4 minutes to play here in the third quarter. 2nd and 1 after the 9-yard pickup by Wright. See the shift on the offensive line. Wright will hand it off this time to Jussie York. York cuts back and a first down for the Panthers.
And now if you're Virginia State, you've got to be able to accept the change in the speed of the football game, and you've got to ramp your defense again. Read option, try to get York to the outside. York, the transfer from Old Dominion, a super athlete in open field.
So Jamal Wright, 5'9" junior, in running that Wildcat formation now. A little confusion along the line, and now they'll snap it. Wright's got it and makes something out of nothing. Right now, Mark James is looking to anybody to get a spark for this offense.
Now, you really don't think that you'll get a lot of throwing out of Wright, but you've got to be aware of it because you can start to see these defensive backs and the linebackers of VSU kind of creep up, anticipating the Wildcat. Now James back at quarterback. Excuse me, it's not.
Check it, it's Lennon. He came back in after being shaked up, hands it off to McDowell, and he's wrestled down after a short pickup.
We've seen Lennon out of the Wildcat. We've seen Wright out of the Wildcat situation.
Brandon Robinson in on the stop, senior.
While Virginia Union's trying to get their personnel grouping together. Confusion here. Time continues to run on the play clock.
Another third down. 5 yards to go.
Shift.
Here's Lenworth Lennon. May have been an offsides against Virginia State. I think it was. Penalty flag came in from the near side.
Well, they moved Kevin Beard just before the play to the left side, so they were strong left, overload left. And I think that good defensive play is going to go for naught. Latrell Scott sitting there very disgusted with his team right there.
Offsides. Defense. Number 25, 5-yard penalty. Replay, third down.
And one of the few mistakes that Andre Rawls has made today.
Yeah, it was first down. It was a 3rd and 5. 5 and 5's 10. 5 and 5's even. 5 yards on the penalty. First down, VUU.
Ball placed now on the 36-yard line. Lennon asks for York to come in motion, and he'll take the snap. York's got it and wrestle down at the 35.
See, one of the things when you run out of a wildcat or some kind of these tricked up formations, you speed it up, is defenders get very, very antsy. They're trying to anticipate a play. Happened a moment ago with Ross trying to anticipate the snap count, jumps offside. That time a little misdirection, even though the play was kind of fumble. Virginia State still a little bit hesitant in their defensive strategy.
Ray Precise was up on the stop. Second down.
A bunch formation to the right and isolated one down is York.
Hand it off and nowhere to go.
And that's what I was talking about a second ago, Scott. You just don't respect the fact that they're going to throw the ball. Virginia State's just loading up.
Gross wrestled down by Rawls.
Watch Andre Rawls read, recognize, and respond. Rawls having a super ball game. Had 10 tackles in a game early in the season against St. Augustine's. Followed it up with another huge ball game, and they just continue to be amazed at how he's played the Mike linebacker spot this season.
Loss of 5 on the play. Dane James now back in the game on 3rd and long.
So you got to think pass now for your Virginia State. Virginia Union's got to execute.
Here's James in the pocket. Pressure's on, and he'll just heave it away, and the pass deflected. And Virginia State's defense, after being put on their heels by that Wildcat offense, responds to force 4th down here as we near the end of the 3rd quarter.
We were talking about Andre Rawls, the other guy inside, Brandon Robinson, number 45, the 8th leading tackler in the CIAA, just put a lot of pressure on the quarterback, Dane James, never allowed him to get his feet set and got a piece of that football. Big 4th down.
4th and long now. James standing at his 45-yard line of Virginia State. Play clock under 5. James can't seem to get the line up he wants from his offensive unit, and a timeout will come at the Panthers sideline, and Mark James is going to talk it over with his quarterback. And this is one of those moments when you want to make sure you have it right, and for Virginia Union, get the feeling it's about to slip away from them here.
Yeah, and you almost, you know, if it happens well for Virginia Union, good. I'm almost thinking you might want to punt this. Your defense has played pretty solid except for a couple of offensive errors. Hey, how you doing? You're watching Virginia Union, Virginia State. Couldn't be in a better place. Beautiful Saturday afternoon playing for a championship. But this is a gamble, I think, if you're Mark James now. 4th down and 14. I tell my receivers, guys, you understand, you've got to run your route past the chains and then come back. You can't run a short route and expect to get it as good a tackling team as Virginia State's been. You can expect to put 3-man pressure on Virginia State and drop 6, maybe 7 guys in coverage. You can just count the defensive backs out there right now. Gutsy call, either way you look at it, for Mark James.
Have to get to the 26-yard line for the 1st down.
A lot of cushion.
Here's James. He's got some time, now rolls out. And incomplete. Short-armed it as he rolled out, and the Trojan defense holds.
Well, Virginia State showed him. Jerry Holmes, longtime coach at Hampton, got a lot of pressure. Said, we'll drop 7 or 8 guys and see if you can beat us with it. They couldn't do it.
Started my Camry, went to the auction, won a storage locker, found an old guitar. Tracked down the previous owner, reunited them, hit the jackpot.
The bold new Camry. One bold choice leads to another. Toyota, let's go places.
Covert ops, double agent, spy thriller. You don't know ARP. Thanks to the AARP Tech program, this guy is spying on his new grandson. AARP Tech gets people better connected to technology to better connect with each other with social media, digital devices, and apps. If you don't think #LoveDad when you think AARP, then you don't know ARP. Find more surprising possibilities and get to know us at aarp.org/possibilities.
It's in the brief. Check paragraph 5. On that grind, huh?
Just trying to be like you.
What are you studying?
Statistics?
I flunked that. Have a good night.
Hey, you forgot something.
Nah, man. That's you. Big Mac extra sauce, right?
Right.
Sometimes being deeply rooted
Thanks.
means being simply connected.
19-6. Virginia State out in front of Virginia Union. Welcome back to Richmond here, our CIAA game of the week. Big hello to all our viewers out on the Spire Network here today. So glad you're with us. Along with Stan Luter, I'm Scott Przwanski as we point towards the championship game next week in Durham.
And let me tell you what, Aspire love them to death. One of my favorite shows airs on Aspire. Exhale. You ever seen Exhale?
I have.
Exhale. I like Exhale. But also, listen, mad shouts to people over in Charlotte, WAXN. We love you. Keep on doing what you got to do. I got something else to tell you about in a minute.
Virginia State here will take over after Union loses it on 4th downs, handed off to Bellamy, who has really been the offense here in the second half for Virginia State. They're content to give it to the big running back.
But mad love. Here's our last regular season game. WAXN, we mentioned down in Charlotte. WRAZ in Raleigh, Durham area will be carrying the championship, and we love them. And GHP.2. And then WNCT, Eastern North Carolina. They understand what that's about, but you know.
They know you well.
We love them. Thank you for all you do.
Getting ready to start the 4th quarter when we come back.
I've always seen No-No on TV, and I always wondered if it worked. And it's definitely, I can see what everybody talks about now.
It's not a razor. It's not a laser. It's No-No from Radiancy, the #1 hair removal system in the world.
It's absolutely no pain.
Can't believe the difference, Al. It's almost hair-free.
No-No gives you no hair with no pain.
Well, I saw it on TV, and they said it was painless, right? I didn't really believe it, but now that I'm trying it, it feels completely painless.
And now, No-No is better than ever. Introducing the new No-No Pro. It's up to 35% more powerful. Imagine never having to shave again.
I like a close shave. Absolutely. And this is better than that. I mean, it's gone.
No more facial hair. No more embarrassment.
I've always been self-conscious of my hairline, so putting my hair back, this will be perfect for me.
And for that man in your life, there's No-No for him too.
It looks like just like you've got a fresh wax, but like you don't have to go through all the pain.
Call now and we'll send you the cordless No-No Pro in your choice of colors. Featuring an LCD display, it comes with up to 5 treatment levels. Plus, we'll include everything you need to get rid of your unwanted hair. A set of thermocon tips specially designed for your face and body. A buffer pad to exfoliate and polish your skin. Plus, act now and we'll send you the No-No travel case as a free gift. And get this, you can try No-No risk-free for not 30 days, but 60 days with our triple guarantee. If you are not 100% satisfied, return it and we'll refund the purchase price, refund the shipping, and even pay the return postage. Try No-No risk-free today.
I need to get myself one of these right now. Absolutely.
For your 60-day trial, go to nonopro.com or call 1-800-780-0750. That's 1-800-780-0750.
CIAA football is brought to you by Toyota, Let's Go Places, by Food Lion, by Coca-Cola, by Nationwide, Nationwide is on your side, and by McDonald's, I'm loving it. Well, in the huddle for Virginia Union, they know it's do or die here in the fourth quarter. They've got to get something going. After leading 6-0, Union has been blanked 19 straight points.
How dominant, as you see, 14-7 fourth quarter. Winston-Salem State and Fayetteville State. Winners play next Saturday. Losers come to the ball game. Check it out. Or watching on some of the stations we told you about. Thank you for a great season.
14-7, maybe closer than many people expected in that game. And a big hitter here for Virginia State. This one may go the distance. A flag on the play. And just shy of the end zone.
Well, we've been wondering when Virginia State would open up their offense a little bit. Question, first play of the fourth quarter, Claude Thomas Jr. with a big-time catch, goes for over 60 yards, but I think it's going to come back.
Penalty flag at the 30-yard line after Ayers hooked up with Thomas.
Lock in the back. Offense. Number 7. 10-yard penalty for the spot of the foul. First down, Virginia State.
Willie Stubblefield they get. Let's see where this occurs. Keep your eye on number 7. Once we get him in the screen, right. It's at the bottom of the screen, actually, I think. That was the block right there. But you'll get the
nonetheless, a big-time pickup between Ayers and Thomas. And Virginia State will have it on the 40-yard line of Virginia Union.
And the mark, down, there we go. It was a first down. He'd gotten the first down past what the penalty was, so it was 10 yards from the penalty. So here we go.
Ayers will hand it off to Bellamy. Wrapped up after a gain of a couple.
Virginia State had thrown only one pass in the third quarter. Prior to that pass, it was called back. And to show you, Scott, that the Virginia Union has really played an outstanding game defensively when you think about Virginia State and how much they run the football, and that they win time of possession, almost every game. I think it was 8 out of 9 games I saw where they won time of possession. Today, they're only leading time of possession by 20 seconds, 22-40 to 22-20. Union's played a good game.
Ayers, and his pass batted down. Tried to find Javion Smallwood over the middle. Knocked down by El Said.
The one thing the Panthers have done an excellent job of is containing Javion Smallwood.
Yeah.
The leading receivers in the CIAA, no catches so far.
You look at our Toyota stats, Virginia Union still leading the way in total yards, but Virginia State closing after that big third quarter, and you see 80 yards now and counting, and passing yards Virginia Union and Virginia State. Not really either way been able to be effective at all. 3rd and 7 now for the Trojans. Ayers is going to keep it. He's got the first down. He wants more. Ayers down to the 10 where he's brought down. And the scrambling ability of Terrion Ayers has been a difference here in the second half.
If Virginia State goes on to win this football game, they're going to look at the development of Ayers in the third quarter when he elected to run the football, either by coverage or just his own decision. But his ability to run the football, move the chains, and get first downs has given Virginia State that extra dimension they need in a game like this.
Well, he learned from a good one last year, and Justin Thorpe able to play, start 2 games, did Ayers last year, and Thorpe, boy, what a treat he was to watch. And now Ayers taking over the reins here for Virginia State. He's got some time and incomplete.
And nearly picked off by Willie Bailey. We've called his name an awful lot this afternoon.
Bailey read it perfectly. And it'll bring up second down.
Beautiful afternoon looking back into that bright sun. I'm not certain that the receiver would have gotten that football had Bailey not tipped it. It looked like he didn't find it till the very last second. Beautiful day. Couldn't have asked for better, could you, for a deciding championship game?
Absolutely not. Great hospitality here at Virginia Union. They need their defense to come up again here. Ayers will hand it off to Bellamy up the middle. And that big defensive line shuts him down.
How dominant has this Virginia State offense been this year as far as running the football? They've got 4 different guys that have rushed for over 100 yards this season. Bellamy's done it a couple of times. And you look at Johnson's done it a couple of times. Even Earl Hughes, the freshman, and then Terrion Ayers has come in last week, like we said. So this is a team that runs the football. They get the lead, they pound you, and they've got a bevy of backs. But Union, to their credit, has done a really good job in kind of keeping these guys corralled today.
Third down. And Ayers got time. Looking to the end zone. He's got a man wide open. Touchdown, Trojans. Deion Futch, the senior.
My MVP, Ayers, by no question. Just holds the play, runs, finds a wide open Deion Futch. And the people in Petersburg are getting ready to make their reservations for a trip. Only about 2.5 hours if it's that far. I-95. Take the 95-85 split, take it right on down through South Hill, and get to Durham. They're on their way.
Virginia State opening it up here in Richmond.
I'm Officer Ryan Kerrigan.
Back in Richmond, you know, it has been a little bit of a struggle. It took a while for Virginia State to get things going, but, man, they came out of the locker room here in the third quarter, and the Trojans have been in full gear. 7 plays, 60 yards on that last drive as Ayers hooking up 9 yards to Futch. And the Trojans are smelling Durham right now on a shot at a CIAA championship next week.
Once you get right outside of campus on 95, you hit the 85 split. You can go 95, but that takes you a longer way, and then you got to hit 64 to go Raleigh. Just the 85 straight get you right to there. In fact, you go right by the stadium, right by Northgate and everything. Just trying to tell you.
Some of the fans that came to pack this stadium here at Hovey Field beginning to exit as their Virginia Union Panthers find themselves down by 20 here in the fourth quarter.
And I know Panther fans are disappointed right now, but I would not exit too soon. This is a very explosive football team. They can score quick, fast, in a hurry, and all you need is a couple of plays to turn things around. Plenty of time still, but if you're going to do it, you got to do it now.
The ball is spotted at the Panther 36-yard line.
What an outstanding season that the Panthers of Virginia Union have had. Won 3 games last year. This could be very much a candidate for Coach of the Year in the CIAA. Mark James set a school record with 7 wins this year for Virginia Union.
They'll start from their own 36. Pass complete to York. And he's wrestled out of bounds just beyond the 40-yard line.
And what you've got to think about if you're a wide receiver for Virginia Union is once you catch the ball, get as many yards as you can and go out of bounds to save some of that clock. Joe Taylor was one of those longtime coaches that the record of Mark James has broken. Willard Bailey, the winningest coach in CIAA history. Mike Bailey, the former coach, all won 6 games or so their first year, never won 7. Mark James has etched his name in record books, a graduate of Virginia Union. How about that?
There'll be a 30-second timeout.
Timeout on the field as the clock goes under 12 minutes. So much history here at Virginia Union. My first trip here to this campus.
Really?
First trip. You never brought me here before.
You didn't? Well, you should have played in the Burning Sands golf tournament. You played in the golf tournament in the spring, then you'll get to come right by and play over the course over there. But yeah, Barco Arena history, national championships, Dave Robbins, the legend, the former administrator Tricky Tom Harris. You think about all the great people that have, Doug Wilder, as we mentioned, a graduate of Virginia Union University at Oakley, and Ben Wallace and Terry Davis and A.J. English. Pete Hunter played football here. So much history on this campus.
A lot of history. And this conference, the CIAA, is better when Virginia Union is competing for championships. You associate success in the conference with Virginia Union.
Easy, guys. One of the trivia questions out that they were going to tell us to answer today was we know Jackie Robinson was the first African-American to break the color barrier and play baseball in 1947. Who was the second? It was Larry Doby, who went to where? Virginia Union. Was called up in July of 47 with the Cleveland Indians. So a lot of history here, and you get a chance to go and hang out on campus. It just makes you feel good.
Certainly does. That pass play moves the ball down to the 43. Another quick hitter. And a nice pickup again. This time by Dante Gross.
Gross, unfortunately, had those 2 fumbles, one of which they were able to recover, but the first fumble kind of changed the momentum of this football game. Only a freshman, was a walk-on originally, has had an outstanding season, had 2 big touchdowns early in the year against Shaw of over 65 yards. A great speed burner.
1st and 10 from the 31. James, another hitter, and complete to right. Tried not to step out of bounds and spin it back infield, but he'll be marked out.
That's okay. You made the catch. You got out of bounds. Clock is stopped. Plenty of time, but you can't waste plays now for your Virginia Union.
Mark the ball on the 27. 2nd and 6.
Trojans want to keep everything in front of them. Don't allow anybody deep in deep. Devontae Pickett.
Here's James, airs it out, it's got a man, touchdown, Virginia Union.
And as soon as we say that, they go over the top and get the touchdown.
Jussie York, the junior, hauls it in. And the Panther faithful say, hold on, we're not done yet. 27 yards through the air.
Very casual in the way they're approaching this at VSU. You can't let anybody get over and look that free safety away. And this is a nice pass. It's dropped it in the bucket. Pretty throw. Dane James, touchdown. Jussie York.
10:50 left to play. So still some time on the clock and a quick scoring drive there by Virginia Union.
Union's going to try to go to 2. They've got that little card there where you're looking. This might be one of those situations. Make it a 2-possession ball game.
We'll bring Lenworth Lennon into the game. Oh, wasn't ready for the snap, bobbles it. Ball still on the deck. And a disaster on that 2-point conversion. But Union still with some life in them after that touchdown. Trailing, though, 26-12.
Come on, we're almost to the side.
Jussie York hauls it in from 27 yards out. Virginia Union trailing now 26-12 and going to key on their defense to try to get this football back to them quickly.
I think they're going to onside kick. Virginia State's got the hands team in. I watched him last night, worked on this for about 10 minutes in different angles, different kind of hops. As you said, hasn't had the greatest kicking game today, but it's got a very strong leg and very can do some things with the football. Let's see what they do here.
10:50 to go. Here is the onside kick. Ball in the air, and it's picked up. Bellamy's got it. And across the 30-yard line, but there is a flag on the play.
And I think this will be offsides on Virginia Union, which obviously VSU will decline. Didn't matter that Bellamy got the ball. Had Virginia Union touched the ball before it went 10 yards.
Well, Mark James might be thinking the way Virginia State has moved this football here in the second half.
There was no flag on the play for illegal touching.
Yeah.
Well, maybe thinking the way the offense of Virginia State has moved the football, he didn't have much of a choice and needed to get it back here with 10:44 to play. So it'll be 1st and 10 from the Panther 26 now, as Terry and Ayers leads the offense back on the field. That's Smallwood in motion, handed off to Bellamy. It has been a steady dose of the sophomore running back here in the second half.
You know, if you're Mark James, you almost have to try the onside kick or pooch and hope your defense can make a stand, because you're trying to fight back. Virginia State runs the ball too well. They like to grind it out. You almost have to do that. Adrian Ferguson, Associate Commissioner for Communications in the CIAA, coming up here giving me scores and trying to keep us posted on who we're going to see in Durham next week. Adrian, what you got for me?
It's a good thing when you see Adrian in the booth, isn't it? It's a good thing.
It is.
It is. Yep. 2nd and 5 from the 21 now for the Trojans. Bellamy, the ball carrier again, and wrapped up and pulled back. Gerald Huggins, among others, in on the stop, and now a flag goes in the air.
5:56 to go, Scott. Winston-Salem State leading Fayetteville State 17-7. Took Adrian a few seconds to get his phone to work and get all his statistical information. He's got like 9 things. Watch this little pile right here.
Well, Adrian's got about 9 phones.
He's got
to work through them.
And all this stuff. Seen the easy guys right
Dead
there.
ball.
Everybody just to be smart. Headbutt.
Defense, number 96. Half the distance to the goal. Automatic first down.
Yeah, get him and let him sit down. LSA, smart play, has had a great game to this point. Don't tarnish the game by doing something that you wouldn't want mom and dad to see after the game. You know what I mean? So, I understand the emotions, but no.
Senior day.
A lot of emotion today, yeah.
A lot of emotion here. Virginia Union, that penalty will push the ball down to the 10-yard line. Clock continues to tick away. Ayers wants to throw it. He's got a man out of the backfield. Finally, Smallwood has a catch, and he's got a touchdown. Ayers and Smallwood hook up, and Virginia State is rolling.
And when the Trojans are rolling, you saw them there, the VUUs are rolling, all right? So everybody's happy in Petersburg right now. Just a little outright, and you saw the athleticism there of Javion Smallwood. And what looks like it could be a blowout. Now, on paper, people will see this score right now, 32, 33 to 12, and say, wow, Virginia State had an easy time. This has been a fight, tooth and nail. Virginia State rolling to Durham.
Started my Camry, went to the auction, won a storage locker, found an old guitar.
Been there.
Well, after struggling with their offense in the first half. Virginia State has erupted here in the second half with 21 points. And all Virginia Union can do right now is just look from the sidelines and think what could have been here today. The stage was set here on their home field, but Virginia State has really turned it up here in the second half.
You can go away with the numbers. Like we said before we went to the break, you're going to look at the numbers of this and say, wow, VSU has just rolled, but that's far from the case.
Has not been the case. Kickoff taken at the 15-yard line.
Just very impressed with how Virginia Union, and they had a good program. Mike Bailey, the former coach, did a nice job with them. They're just never able to get over the hump. Bowie State was playing better football. Trojan had a nice season a couple of years ago. And then, of course, what Virginia State's done. They make a change, and sometimes change is good. I think sometimes it's not. For Virginia Union fans, you get a guy that's one of your own again.
Right.
And he's come in and just kind of put some new blood into this program, and you think nothing but good things are going to happen for the Panthers of VUU in the years to come.
James's pass complete to Jamal Wright. You think about Dane James comes in and playing, took over October 25th. Remember, he's the third quarterback.
He's number 3 quarterback playing his third game, his second start. And although he knows the offense pretty well, he's the coach's son, hasn't had the opportunity to really get out on the field, has handled himself admirably. Found out a second ago that Johnson C. Smith knocked off Livingstone in the Commemorative Classic.
James to York. York will heave it down the field, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Dontrell Jones. York just heaved it downfield to a spot, and Jones, the junior safety, picked it off.
Very well defended by Virginia State, and they knew that things were going to come out. Rawls, you see, puts pressure on Jussie York. York just underthrows this a little bit, or actually overthrows it initially. And Dontrell Jones has had a nice football game today.
He has called his name a couple times and hauls in the interception.
Little look there at Coach Taylor.
And it's been a journey for Mark James here in his first season. But you can tell this program is moving where it needs to go. No question about it. 8:39 left to play here in the fourth. Penalty flags fly as I believe it's Bellamy who's just wrestled back almost all the way to his goal line.
Now what you have to do if you're Virginia Union is continue to play hard and play smart. Don't let your emotions get the better of you. If you're Virginia State, you've got to play hard, play smart, and definitely don't let your emotions get the better of you. Say something, hit something, get ejected so you're not able to play next week in the championship game. So both teams have got to do a nice job of self-containment. This is on you.
Personal foul. Face mask, defense, number 56, 15-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
Got Gerald Huggins on the penalty. And we've been talking a lot about this game is going to lead you to a championship. You know, somebody knows something about championships, Magic Johnson. Magic Johnson's network, Aspire. We thank them so much for being a part of us this year and welcome everybody viewing on Aspire here today.
It's been fun. It's been a nice season. We're not done yet. Still got the championship. We've got a lot of basketball to come, CIAA tournament, and I think the first basketball game, I think maybe Virginia Union's in there. I don't know. I hadn't thought that far about basketball.
Got to get to tomorrow first.
Got to get through tomorrow. Got to get to next week.
8:10 left to go in this one. After that face mask, moves the ball out near the 25, and that's Earl Hughes, freshman running back they're really excited about in Petersburg. Came in with 5 touchdowns, averaging just about 6 yards a carry. A bright future for the freshman from Chesterfield, Virginia.
You know, Aspire, you're talking about them, been running these playback games, throwback games. And one of the games was the Virginia Union 2007 game in the CIAA Championship against Shaw that went overtime. Our very own Kadita Kenner has been the producer at large in doing all those games. You know, and Winston-Salem played out in San Diego and showing that. So Aspire's really bought into HBCU football and basketball and their commitment to what we're doing, like inside the game, and love the shows. And so we thank them a lot. And all the other stations, as we mentioned.
Absolutely, got a great group of affiliates.
Along the line, because they have done a really nice job in keeping this going. And folks down in Columbus, Georgia. Did we have a good time in Columbus, Georgia?
Outstanding.
Columbus, Georgia, and Columbus, Ohio, and Dayton, Ohio. We love them up there. And obviously the Greensboro, High Point, Winston-Salem markets. So thank you. And then also here, right here in Richmond area, WUPV. Watch them a lot when I come through here. Carrying the games and Fog Sale. I guess they'll have us tune in next week.
Absolutely. Here's Ayers again. He'll hand it off to Bellamy. Well, it's gone final in Fayetteville. Winston-Salem State 17, Fayetteville State 7. And Winston-Salem State will play for another CIAA championship.
It'll be an interesting game. Mirror programs a lot. State schools, young coaches. Boldware in his first year after being a long-time assistant for Connell Maynard, who's not far down the road, down I-64 at Hampton. So Virginia State, absolutely great fan bases. I mean, Virginia State fans be coming down in their orange and blue.
Pass incomplete as Stubblefield couldn't hold on. 17-7, we showed you that score.
Coach Kershaw, give him a great round of applause at Fayetteville State. Did a nice job in his second year. A lot of young guys in the league.
Yeah, I'd say holding that Winston-Salem State offense to just 17 points.
I'm telling you.
Tells you a little bit about what they're doing in Fayetteville right now.
That guy right there, 2 years he's coached and 2 years he's won Northern Division championships. So hey, hats off to Latrell Scott, and Peggy Davis, the athletic director, Dr. Miller, and all the Trojan fans.
They're looking for their first CIAA championship since 1996 as they trek to Durham. Bobbled snap. Hillcrest picks it up, and still a scramble for it.
Pass now. And my question would be, did he throw that past the line of scrimmage?
Boy, Hillcrest has had a day here today. Had that issue with the drop kick when he bobbled the snap, tried to kick it forward, and then here again. And the freshman punter, he'll remember this one, but it's done enough. With his PATs, he's made a couple as well. And you look again here, just a low snap. He's just making what he can from it.
You talking a moment ago about 1996. Lou Anderson, the longtime coach, won back-to-back CIAA championships in 95 and 96. They haven't won one since then. They've been in the championship game, lost to Shaw in 2010, 14-7. So Virginia State, one of the Pied Pipers in the CIAA as far as leadership, academically, athletically, gets a chance to win their 11th CIAA title and another flag. And again, this is what I'm saying. Both teams have got to keep their head right now, play smart football, and let's walk across historic Hovey Field, shake hands, and somebody will play again, and somebody will start talking about next year a little bit. That's how it works.
Yep, there's flags taking place.
But don't tarnish the game right now.
Yeah, flags here on the sidelines of Virginia Union.
You know, the guy that was trying to tell me, I can't remember his name, was trying to tell us about Virginia. Say he didn't know that we knew that the very first game ever played between these schools was played in 1900s. He didn't know that we knew that. I knew that. Say, I've been here before.
Dead ball. Personal foul. Offense.
Ooh.
Number 65, late hit out of bounds. 15-yard penalty. Second down.
Hovey Field, campus of Virginia Union University.
A late hit on the offensive lineman, Joshua Stalls, and that'll negate the gain and back up Union. Place the ball at the 50-yard line. 5:30 left to play. Pass complete to Gross, and he's wrapped up immediately.
I've been very impressed with the back 7, back 8 in this case for Virginia State. Brandon Lynch, only a freshman, has been in a couple of tackles, deflections, interceptions, had the big play earlier, and just reads that play and has got really good closing speed to make that tackle. When you look at Lynch as the only young kid of those 4 linebackers, Lynch and Robinson and Rawls and Face, and so you've got something to build on if you're Latrell Scott and the rest of his staff for next year. He's had a really good game.
3rd and 17 from the 48 now for Dane James. Empty backfield, he'll air it out. He's got York open across the 40 and wrestled out of bounds. Nice open field tackle by Tyrell Smith.
Tackle by number 22, Tyrell Smith.
Man, it's going to be competitive next week. Red Sea of Sound, Red Team Cheerleaders versus Trojan Explosion and the VUUs. Let alone the football game.
Have to keep me focused, all right? Try to keep me focused. Under 4 left to play. It was enough for a first down. James again, and again hooks up with York.
You heard the commissioner. Tickets are still available. You better call your school and get your tickets. They haven't played each other in, 10 years or so. 9 or 10 years. It's been a long time because of divisional play, and then the expanded divisions went from east-west to north-south. So this will be interesting.
3rd and 2 now from the 27. James, and he's picked off. Darian Thomas picked it off and brought down at about the 45-yard line. For Thomas,
go ahead.
His 4th interception on the year.
Did a really nice job. Dane throws into double coverage, and you can see you've got Thomas to the outside. He makes a great break to the football. Pickett was to the inside. They just nowhere to throw this football. A little bit of an overthrow. And Virginia State doing what we thought they may do early in the ball game, kind of putting the hammer to him late in this ball game. Nice interception by Darian Thomas.
Well, our Food Lion MVP of the game, Terrian Ayers. Who else? See the numbers, and boy, he has been a difference maker, especially here in the second half. Hooked up a couple times through the air on scores, but what he did with his feet, I think really set the tone in the second half. That first and second drive when he showed the ability, which we've seen all year long, to scramble, pick up first downs, and Ayers has been impressive here today, our Food Lion MVP of the game.
Get 1 yard total net rushing in the first half. You'll end the game, maybe 35, 40 yards. They were big yards, keeping drives alive, scrambling to keep a play alive to get a touchdown when they needed one to open this game.
.230 left to go. Bellamy has had a workout here in the second half.
I'll be interested as we start to get ready for the championship game now, Winston-Salem State, Virginia State. I'll be interested to look at some tape and see what Fayetteville State did or didn't do. The whole Winston-Salem offense is averaging close to 40 points a ball game, 2 quarterbacks, a stable full of running backs, a lot of outstanding wide receivers, and a really good defense to 17 points. So, sit here and build it up and talk about it and hype it up. That's going to be done enough over the course of the next 7 days. You don't have to sit there and do it. You look at it from what's going to happen on the field, and I think you've got two teams, probably the two best teams all year long. You know, when Virginia State now comes in on an 8-game winning streak.
Yeah.
You know, you talk to Luttrell, he said that, you know, they lost their first 2 games. A very competitive game to California PA, and they lost to Lenore Ryan, who was in the national championship last year. And Lenore Ryan ran for over 340 yards and never threw a pass. And so they said they got the guys together and had a kind of a meeting of the minds. The team did. Certainly turned everything around.
Get a look at our Toyota game summary, and there's been a dose of Bellamy here in the second half. And the defense has been outstanding as well for Virginia State. Talked about Terrion Ayers, our MVP of the game, and what he's done on the ground himself. And certainly his scrambling ability has created opportunities through the air as well.
You look at this Toyota game summary, what did you see? You saw a lot of space for Ayers and for Bellamy in the second half. Clean uniform. That offensive line did an outstanding job of protecting it and creating some holes. And the defense, other than that long touchdown that York had a few moments ago, the defense in the second half, really throughout this entire football game, but especially in the second half, just clamped down on Virginia Union.
Boy, this guy Bellamy just keeps churning forward, and an offense which wasn't able to do anything in the first half. I mean, nothing in the first half. In 26 plays and just 28 yards, well, they have really turned it up here in the second half and shown why. From a statistical standpoint, they have the 4th best offense in the league.
Mad props before we go to John Westbrook, the SID at Virginia State. Thanks for all his information. And Jim Juneau, the SID, longtime SID here at Virginia Union, for all the information. Jim told me so much stuff, I couldn't even tell it all to you. He had me looking at old newspaper articles. In fact, he showed me an article of the 1932 Virginia Union-Virginia State game that was a 0-0 tie that was played in the Norfolk area. And Jim was telling me that was the last time. That's hard to believe, though.
Bellamy turns the corner. And another first down.
Jim was telling me that 32 game was the last time that the two teams had played each other at the end of the season where they were playing for a championship. Now, I don't know if that's right. Now, I didn't cover the game, but it sounded good. But you see now, pounding. Watch this. Watch this at the end of the play. It says just continue to run, protect the football. 2 or 3 guys around Bellamy, tearing his uniform, and still falls forward for 2 or 3 more yards. Very impressive by Virginia State. We'll see you next week.
They're celebrating on the sidelines of Virginia State right now. Coach Scott just got a little bath from the Gatorade cooler. The folks in Petersburg that made the short trip up the road are ready to head to Durham, North Carolina next weekend. And Virginia State will take a knee and walk out of here with a 33-12 victory. And a Northern Division championship comes back home to Petersburg. Quite a year for Virginia State. We've seen a lot of good things from this team throughout the year, and they're poised now to head for a championship.
I'm very impressed with Virginia Union and the way they played. They came out strong, didn't take advantage of a couple of opportunities, had some misfortune themselves, and when they did, Virginia State finally got things together. And boy, when the Trojan explosion exploded, they really did that. Congratulations to the Trojans of Virginia State.
Well, Virginia Union on senior day had high hopes, came out with plenty of emotion, plenty of firepower, but in the end, it was the Trojans of Virginia State, simply too much. 33-12 is our final here from Richmond. We bid you adieu from Richmond, Virginia, and set our sights now on Durham, North Carolina. Virginia State will play for a championship next weekend against Winston-Salem State. This has been a presentation of Urban Sports and Entertainment Group.